Constantly wrong on it.
Listen, Aaron, then why are
Listen to yourself.
Aaron, if you're better
Nobody
at
knows
this
who
than
you
me,
are.
if you're better at this than me, then why are you?
Why are you asking
good,
this question?
Listen, this is a real no. Let's play this exercise. I want you to think about this.
Who's the one that's being dog walked right now?
Listen,
you're so taken back.
If you're good at this, if you're so good at politics, right? If you know so much, and I'm not credible because I thought that Harris was more likely to win the election than Trump. Guess that ruins all my credibility.
Oh, you were so cocky about it. Oh yeah,
Aaron.
Your arrogance.
Then why are you?
I remember it. I'm old enough to remember.
Why are you then? Like, shouldn't you be more than you?
I don't have to explain myself.
Why are you?
Who are you to? Why are you?
If you're so good at talking politics, why are you still you? Like, have you ever thought about that? This guy tried to be respectful in the beginning. He starts losing the conversation because he doesn't even know that Trump obstructed justice in the documents case, which is the distinction between the two cases. And as soon as he finds it out and realizes he's going to lose the debate, he starts going, "You're making money off social media." No shit, Muppet. God damn. I mean, this is the approach I'm going to start taking when they go up. So Republicans have this thing where they think because I said that I thought it was more likely that Harris won the election than Trump, that I've lost all credibility. And then he said that I said that Trump would 100% be in prison. No, I said if these cases get prosecuted, if they go to trial, he will be convicted. He went to trial on one of those cases. He was convicted. The other 3 cases never made it to trial. The other cases never made it to trial. But guess what? He was convicted on the one case that did. You guys still refuse to admit he was convicted. I have unlimited messages from Republicans right now in my inbox telling me, we told you, see? I got a message this morning that said, all cases dropped. Trump no longer a felon. Aaron is still my fan. I think he will be. Do you guys think Aaron will still be a fan after this? He says he's been watching me for months. He really thought he had a legitimate... Oh, God, he was mispronouncing words and using them improperly. It was just really cringe, dude. I thought he was going to be respectful, but they start to get pissed off when they lose the conversation. It's bizarre. It really fucking is. I don't know. Yes, can I help you?
Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Fine, what's up?
I just have a kind of personal question for you. I just lost my mom on November 16th, and I've heard you say you've lost your mom. How do you push on? How do you get through it? I don't know.
How did I push on after I lost my mother?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just have to kind of let yourself go through it. There's not really an answer for it.
You're so strong, I've watched you We've had conversations, and you're just so strong, and I'm really broken, and I don't know how.
I mean, like I said, I'm sorry for your loss. I really can't, though, tell you how to get through it because, I struggled getting through it myself. I would just say, just give yourself time to get through it. You know what I mean? All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. But guys, I'm not equipped to answer those types of questions. Yes, I did lose my mother. I did the best I could answering the question. I'm a political commentator. You know what I mean? I'm not a psychiatrist. So no, I don't have the answer to every single question. If I was a psychiatrist, then I'd be talking about, if I wanted to talk about that kind of stuff, I'd be talking about that kind of stuff. I have, that's not my, my mother did die tragically, but I'm not, I didn't get through it any better than anyone else. You know what I mean? Aaron said greenlighting instead of gaslighting. Stop. No, he didn't. Did he really? Yeah, therapy is a great thing to do. Yeah. Therapy is a great thing. He said greenlighting instead of gaslighting. Stop it. I didn't even hear him say that. You're greenlighting everyone. God, I wish I heard that. Shit. I missed it. Fuck. I really wish I heard it. Stop greenlighting everyone. I'm gonna wait, guys. All right, so I want everyone to know I'm gonna use that on a Republican. They're gonna start. May, you have really a lot of background noise. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna use that on a Republican. So next time, just wait for it. I'm gonna be in the middle of a debate with a Republican, and I'm gonna say to them, "Stop greenlighting me," and see if they notice. All right, Ben, what's going on?
Sorry, I did not mean to join. Sorry about that.
That's all right, Ben. Take care.
All right, you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bunch of messages from Republicans basically who believe that Donald Trump was innocent, and that's why these charges were dropped, and that he didn't actually do these things. See, I told you, he's no longer a felon now. But I want to really talk about something that I made a video yesterday on, because I've been feeling this way, and I think it's really important. This country, in my opinion, does not deserve democracy anymore. And I know this is going to be a harsh take for some people, but I don't think this country deserves the democratic principles that make us the United States of America. I think we've had more than enough chances to respect the foundation of democracy, and we have disrespected it at every turn. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think we deserve it. We really, the thing that keeps going through my head constantly is what happened on January 6, 2021, and everything that happened since that day, right? And everything we've seen occur, right? The Capitol building, all the stuff we've seen to present day. The millions of people that voted for Donald Trump watched all of those same things happen and still went in and cast their ballot for Donald Trump. Millions, over 70 million people, and millions more didn't think it was important enough to vote against. Think about how much of the country has just spit in the face of democracy. We don't deserve democracy. We don't deserve the democratic constitutional republic that is the United States. We don't. We deserve authoritarianism. We deserve dictatorship. We have done this to ourselves. We have been given every chance, every chance to say, no, democracy is more important. No, this is the standard we must uphold no matter what. And we just let it happen. We're not laughing at the United States, but we're worried about you. I imagine you are. You should be. what I think is just going to end up happening, and again, it doesn't mean that Trump's going to become some dictator. It doesn't mean that Trump is going to necessarily become some kind of crazy, dictator. It just means that a standard has now been set, precedent rather, has been set democratically, that you don't have to respect the system. You don't have to concede after you lose. You don't have to respect the peaceful transfer of power. You do not need to respect it to participate in it. In fact, you can try and subvert the will of the people and still be accepted. So what that sends, that message it sends to other people who intend on participating in our election system, is a by any means necessary mentality. By any means necessary. That is dangerous stuff. We're sending the message to the next person that comes along. Do whatever you have to try and gain power and control, even if it means subverting the results of an election, even if it means attempting to overthrow, the process or interfering with the branch of the government. That's the message that we're sending. So there's been precedent set now. Understand, that's the bar now. The bar's in hell, but that's the standard. The standard is you don't need to have respect for democracy. So when it does, if it does go down, right, and you see a complete and total collapse, I want you to remember that we did this to ourselves. We did. We did. We had enough chances. We really did. We did. Do you think guys like the guy who came up and, says he's a communist and doesn't vote, do you think he gives a shit? You think he even understands? You think any of the people who, didn't vote, protest, didn't vote, third party, Jill Stein people, you think they understand the importance of democracy? They don't get it. It's fragile, and it only works if both teams agree to the rules of the game. It does not work if only one side agrees. So, as much as I understand accepting a loss and conceding to Donald Trump and continuing with the peaceful transfer of power, I have to say, this is not the route I would take. I think if I was the president, I would stand up and say my oath and my duty is to the Constitution of the United States. I will encourage my vice president to refuse to certify the results of the election using Amendment 14, Section 3 of the Constitution. Has Donald Trump signed the ethics statement yet? Has Donald Trump signed the ethics agreement yet? Does anyone know if Donald Trump has signed the ethics agreement yet? So someone want to explain to me how Donald Trump, who hasn't signed the ethics statement, is receiving classified briefings? Because as I was growing up, I was always taught that you had to sign that statement to receive classified national security briefings. How is he receiving briefings without signing the ethics statement? Someone want to explain that to me? That doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. I mean, I'm not incredibly versed in this specific. I know basic stuff, but I understand why, I understand that he's refusing, but at what point do you have, does he have, it is federal law, I thought. The Presidential Transition Act, I believe it's called. So what's the limit? He just doesn't have to sign the ethics statement because it's not, is he arguing because it's not explicitly stated in the Constitution? It's federal law, is my understanding anyway. So how are you receiving briefings? Why are we giving national security briefings to someone who's not signing the ethics statement? That's concerning. Let me double check that he still hasn't signed it. I don't know that he still hasn't signed it, but I don't know. How are you receiving? What about those checks and exactly, Amy? What about those checks and balances they scream about? This is the thing, people. Like, these things are not nearly as sturdy as you think they are. I don't think he's had any briefings. Though he's definitely had to have had briefings. It's almost December. What do you mean he hasn't had any briefings? He's definitely had briefings. He shouldn't be receiving anything without signing the ethics statement. Let me look this up. Seven days ago, President-elect Trump has started receiving intelligence briefings. President-elect Donald Trump, this is NBC. President-elect Donald Trump is now receiving intelligence briefings. How is he receiving intelligence briefings without signing the fucking statement? People tell me no, he hasn't. Why do people so confidently say things they don't know what they're talking about? It's fucking annoying. So this is 7 days ago. I know, I just get annoyed when people just tell me things when they don't know what they're talking about. It's right here. He's definitely receiving intelligence briefings. So the briefings from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence began shortly after the election, in keeping with obviously the custom launched by Truman. So this is but Trump wasn't accepting any briefings during his campaign, right? Guys, here's why so part of the reason you sign that ethics statement is to prevent conflicts of interest, right? You don't, when it comes to national security, this is serious stuff. Can we just talk about something that I can't get out of my head that's concerning the shit out of me? Elon Musk, and I'm sure this is concerning everyone, Donald Trump's refusal to sign the ethics agreement, right? Living with Elon Musk, who's actively communicating with an adversary about geopolitics and other things, God knows what. And Elon Musk is actively talking to like Zelensky and other people, like he's with Trump talking to like world leaders. So why is it not front page news that Donald Trump's not signing this agreement? The whole purpose of the ethics statement is to prevent conflicts of interest. Isn't this concerning that he's refusing to sign this? I don't know. I don't know. Something's fucking not right though. Something just seems super fishy, dude. Yeah, I don't have any mainstream media I have no interest in mainstream media anymore. Mainstream media has lost the plot. I'm not interested in their bullshit anymore. They can bend the knee to Trump. They can do it alone. You guys should be supporting creators. Don't support mainstream media. Mainstream media is garbage. And they're not going to do us any favors in the future. So They don't win elections. Not saying if you like watching Morning Joe, go ahead, but you're not going to catch me watching that bullshit. I'm done with them. Everything is fishy about Elon Musk. What's even crazier is there's not a thing we can do about it. I think that's the frustrating part. Like, when you think about the damage they could do, you get sick. But what makes you even more sick is when you come to the realization there's nothing you can do to stop them. There's nothing you can do to stop them, and there's nothing you can do to hold them accountable after they've done it. So, like, there's not even going to be any accountability. It's just going to be like, psh. You know what I mean? No, I promise I will always give you accurate information. I take that super serious. I always make sure that what I'm putting out is 100% true. If it's not, I will correct myself. But I do not put out information that I don't think is 100%. I don't, obviously make sure that it's correct before I say it. Look, another Republican spamming emojis in the chat. This is their take. Hey, Vince, can you get in the box? God, it's like little children. Literally. How did we get to this point? Because we allowed conservatism to exist in our country, fester in our country. That's why. We have allowed conservatism. We have allowed the conservative movement to exist in our country. Conservative is fascist light. The conservative movement in the United States is not even conservative. It's just fascism. It's not even really conservative. It's literally just fascism. Fascist light. Now it's full-blown fascism. Yeah, allowed, Drew. Yeah, what about it, Drew? Drew, are you still an undercover fucking Trump supporter? Or are you willing to admit you support Trump? We have allowed, I have always said this, we've allowed characteristics of fascism to exist in our country forever. Since,
what do you mean undercover?
The beginning. Huh?
What do you mean undercover?
Yeah, I mean, you're one of these Trump supporters that like doesn't want to come out and just say like you're a big full-blown MAGA supporter. Like, you put bumper stickers and shit on your car, Muppet.
Oh yeah, I got the hat, the flags,
I know you do, Muppet. Like, I guarantee your car has like one of those big ass like not guilty things on it, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see my prank calls on Instagram yet? I'm actually starting to call Trumpers who are selling Trump stuff and prank them. Check out my Instagram. If you haven't checked out my Instagram, that's a series I'm starting on Instagram only. So Drew. So what was your comment? Allowed, you said?
Yeah. What do you mean allowed? Allowed to?
Oh, we should have done away with it.
In what way? How will we do that? Ban it?
I don't know if you want to hear that answer. We should have done away with it.
In what way?
I don't know that I want to say it out loud. But no, through education, right? It starts with education. You need to educate people on why these are dangerous political ideas, right? That it's not necessarily a good thing to love your country at a certain level, right? You reach levels of nationalism. That is not acceptable, right? But we teach that no matter, as long as it's in favor of the United States, that it's a good thing, right? Like, nationalism is a good thing. Generally speaking, that's taught in the United States, that nationalism is acceptable. It's good. I would argue that nationalism is toxic and bad, right? So that's a tenet of fascism that is acceptable in the United States that I believe we should teach is not acceptable in the United States or anywhere else in order to try and cure this disease that is fascism, right?
Do you have kids?
Yes, I do.
How old? If you don't want me to ask you.
I have
School
a
age?
Why?
school age?
No, I have a toddler.
Oh, okay. Yeah, from when I went to school, I would agree. Nationalism and I guess pride in our country was a lot more pushed as opposed to today. My kids are in college now, and that's the last thing they're talking about. They're not talking about nationalism. They're not talking about.
Well, Drew, I wouldn't.
American
Do you
pride.
think I'd have college kids, Drew? I mean, you think that would make sense? No.
Say it again?
I have a one child that's little.
No, I just didn't know if they were. You could have had a kid that was in grade school. I didn't know if you could. Yeah, you know.
So, but the point
But you wouldn't realize that there is that change has been going on for.
Your
20
kids were taught
years.
growing up, like your kids were taught growing up, that it was okay to have a disdain for human rights. Like you may disagree with this because you're a Republican. You may not see what I'm saying, but I know there's people. I know for a fact there's people in the chat that what I'm saying right now is landing with them, and they know what I'm saying. That we have allowed it to exist. We have considered it acceptable to have these beliefs politically, and so what happens is eventually a full-blown fascist comes along and takes advantage of those existing tenets.
So, what do we do? What do we do? We don't believe in our country.
Now we suffer the consequences. Unfortunately,
I'm saying what is to be taught as opposed to.
Yeah. So like I was trying to explain to you. So like for instance, like it would have to start in school, but you start educating. When you start with children, of course, but you start teaching that these things are not acceptable political ideas, right? This is not acceptable, right? Like as a society, look how we treated Colin Kaepernick, right? This is a great example of something that's a tenet of fascism, but no one was talking about fascism when we were talking about Colin Kaepernick, were we? No one, you didn't hear anyone calling out the fact that this is totally ultra nationalist. The way this country had just attacked an individual for kneeling during the national anthem is ultra nationalism, quite literally. So like, yeah, and in situations like that, I think you could start by teaching people that it's not acceptable to react that way to someone's choice to kneel during the national anthem, right? The national anthem is voluntary. You do not need to pledge your allegiance to the country. Like that's not a requirement of living inside the country. That would be ultra nationalism. And so explaining to people the distinction would be a great start, which we don't actively do. I do. I teach people that, but it's not generally speaking taught.
I think that's just a difference of opinion. Whether or not people don't like the fact that Colin Kaepernick didn't didn't do the national anthem, didn't sing the national anthem or stand for the national anthem is a personal opinion.
No, but I knew you were going to have this opinion.
Perfectly fine, and the other half, didn't, or I wouldn't even say that because in my case, I really didn't think of it anyway. Really, it was his choice, and he did what he did. I didn't think that he was a bad person for doing it.
Yeah, but just understand that 32 teams refused to sign him. He was basically, removed from the league and everybody was like making it about veterans and his disrespect for deceased veterans. Has nothing to do with veterans. Veterans didn't fight for the flag, and who was out there educating? Yeah, but I don't use the word blacklisted, right? So that's why I didn't say blacklisted. Especially in that circumstance, I didn't feel the word blacklisted would be appropriate. But anyway, so
what's the opposite of
what was I saying now? I was talking about something and I lost my train of thought. We didn't have people out there educating people that this is inappropriate, right? That you don't have to pledge your allegiance to the country. That's not a required. Okay, you don't need to pledge your allegiance. So veterans didn't die for the flag. Veterans didn't die for the Pledge of Allegiance. These people gave the ultimate sacrifice for people's right to do so. And somewhere along the way, when you allow this ultra nationalism to exist in your country, these tenets of fascism to exist in your country, you lose that. You forget that. You forget the importance of why these people did that. These people did this so they could exercise those rights without fear of persecution. And here we are persecuting people for exercising those very rights, right? This is the problem with ultranational. This is the problem with nationalism in general, right? This toxic love for one's country. You don't need to pledge your allegiance to our country. You don't need to hold your hand over your heart and say you love the country every time that song plays. That's not necessary. It's not required. If you'd like to, certainly. And it's certainly not disrespectful to veterans.
Are you familiar with the 45 rules or goals of communism that was read into the congressional record in 1963?
Relevant? Not off the top of my head.
It's relevant because you're basically explaining the goals of communism that was read into the national record in 1963.
What does an economic system have to do with what I'm saying right now?
It's not.
Communism
is
an economic system.
Well, basically, it's not just an economic system; it's an ideology, isn't it?
It's a political philosophy, yeah, but it's still an economic system.
Yeah, at one point it's an economic system, but it's also an ideology. And
but the problem is Republicans pervert the meaning of communism. What is communism?
A bad thing? What you're saying?
But the problem is Republicans pervert the meaning of what does communism mean? You don't even have to give me the definition. Just tell me what are some characteristics of a communist?
No ownership in anything.
What are some characteristics of someone who's communist? Like, what do you see where you recognize this person's probably a communist?
What do I see if this person's a communist?
Yes. Like, what specific characteristics?
They wear bland color clothing. I don't know. I don't know what you're getting at.
Because typically Republicans will say certain things like that you're a communist, and it's unrelated to your political philosophy. You know what I mean? So what's the point? How is communism related to the argument? I'm so confused. This is random. So you know how many ingredients are in a Doritos Los Taco Muppet? What's the relevance to this question?
So basically, what you're saying that we should unteach our children is precisely if you go and I suggest you do it. Look at the goals of communism that was read into the 1963 congressional record. One being, forgetting the idea of nationalism or any kind of pride in America whatsoever. Causing issues with race and class and all these social issues to divide.
Are you saying what I'm talking about right now is teaching communism?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
what the fuck are you talking about?
What I'm saying is I really don't understand.
Do you even know what you're saying?
I really don't understand why nationalism is a negative thing. I really don't get it. I don't see the negative behind. Because
it turns toxic. You don't see the negative. Colin Kaepernick's a great example of why it's problematic, right? It's a perfect example. And people like you, as a result of nationalism, believe that it's necessary to pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States, or you're disrespecting veterans, which is also supremacy of the military, coincidentally, another tenet of fascism. It is not, if you want to do it, it shouldn't be frowned upon. But if you don't want to do it, it shouldn't be frowned upon.
Didn't you come in earlier saying how fragile democracy is?
Yeah,
this great experiment that we have is very fragile.
This has nothing to do with democracy. What are you talking about?
I'm getting there. Didn't you say that democracy is a fragile thing?
Yes, right? It is.
So pledging allegiance to, all right, the flag isn't the greatest thing, but it's not as it doesn't ring so well with the Constitution and what we believe in as a country. And what's important to us and what keeps this democracy going, would be a form of nationalism, wouldn't it?
Say that again.
Okay, so believing in the Constitution and believing in America, right, is probably pretty important to keep democracy going. If you start to question the Constitution and this great experiment that we're in the middle of, I think that's more of a risk of losing our democracy than being a nationalist.
No, I don't even understand what. Like, this is weird.
Because you have a whole completely different mindset.
No,
That's part of the problem.
what I'm telling you is that nationalism provokes tribalism. Okay, nationalism doesn't have anything to do with the democratic principles, right? It just simply provokes tribalism. That's why I was talking about the Colin Kaepernick aspect of this. You know, the consequence of nationalism. Colin Kaepernick. When I say democracy is fragile, that system of democracy, our election system, I mean that you must respect the process. You must agree to the rules of democracy in order for it to function, just like a baseball game, a football game. Two teams are playing against each other. You must agree to the rules. You don't have to agree to rules to live in the country, like in terms of pledging your allegiance to the flag. Like, what argument are you making?
No, I'm not saying
we need to all just agree that you have to pledge allegiance to the flag and get over it, or the country fails. No, this is the problem here. This is what you're not getting. Like, you're literally falling victim to the very thing I'm talking about. You know, you're falling victim to the very thing I'm talking about.
The group of people that didn't hire Colin Kaepernick, it was within their right to decide that whether or not they wanted him and the way that he was to play on their team. Perfectly fine. It has nothing to do with national. It was a choice that they found. And they found that him possibly making a political statement when he should be a football player maybe isn't what the NFL was looking for. He can make a political statement wherever he wants. But when he's a player on a team making money,
it shouldn't be considered problematic. Like, it shouldn't be considered. What it did is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Everyone started to go after him and state that he was disrespecting veterans, and it was this whole big thing, right? It shouldn't be anything. People should look at it and go, "Oh, I wonder why he's doing that." Look into it, be able to see, and then move on. Right. Oh, look, he's protesting this. It's actually a great way to get that kind of information out. But instead, this country fucking didn't. Right.
If you get hired at UPS and UPS says that you have to wear the brown hat, and that's a required.
Yeah, he's not. This guy's not getting it.
And he's not wearing the brown hat.
We're not talking about did they have the right to do it as an organization, Muppet. I'm simply talking about.
I'm quite aware of that. But
I'm talking about the negative consequences of nationalism in, like, for instance, tribalism. I'm not talking about whether or not, as an organization, they could fucking tell him he can't play in the league.
Colin Kaepernick
Of course
as an
they
example.
can.
It's not a good example.
Huh?
I'm knocking a hole in your example of Colin Kaepernick.
You're
100%,
guy. You're not knocking a hole in it.
I am.
Okay.
Because you're saying that it was because of nationalism.
Yes,
Which
it was because
that's
of people.
indicating that only Republicans.
Wait. Did soldiers fight for the flag? I'll prove it. Did soldiers fight for the flag?
No, they fought for our freedom.
They take an oath to the Constitution. They fought for people's rights. They fought for people's freedoms, right? They're granted by what specifically? Liberty granted by what? Individual rights granted by what?
By the Constitution.
Correct. So people were mad. Why?
They felt it was disrespectful.
They felt. Hold on, stop. They felt. People, nationalism thrives on feelings. Okay? That's the point. They felt. Listen, stop. I want you to think. I'm trying to provoke thought in there, if it's possible. Okay? They felt. They felt.
Yeah, all right, I got it. Felt. Continue.
That's the point. It's feelings. He didn't actually disrespect soldiers, right? because of this ultra nationalist mindset, you felt that he was.
Yeah, you're talking about people that were upset.
Nationalism thrives on feelings.
Right. Okay.
I feel like this is going over your head.
It's still not the time of the
I feel like
place.
this is going over your head, but I don't think this guy's
not. It's really not.
Okay, I hope it's not, because yeah.
No, it's not. It's just I just have a different point of view. That's all. Just because people have different points of view and look at things differently, it's not. You're not.
Are you sure you're not trying to greenlight me?
I was there when you were saying this.
Oh, never mind. Then I can't use it on you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Look, I don't agree.
Nationalism is toxic. But you see ultra nationalism, like MAGA, for instance, in my opinion, is ultra nationalist, right? You see a lot of slogans, flags, mottos, things like that. I think is
doing rallies where it's appropriate.
Rallies are not appropriate anyway.
I don't think people go home.
What is this, the Third Reich? Rallies, like, with fucking, like, it's so weird, bro. Like the one in Madison Square Garden, if that is not the biggest fucking red flag on planet Earth, an arena lit up red that actually hosted a schmatzy rally in what I think it was 1939, right? Standing there in red with, like, seriously, is that not the biggest fucking red flag on planet Earth? In the United States was like, yep, let's elect this guy. Holy God. Fucking, I don't belong here. I really don't.
Okay, so Madison Square Garden being what it is, right? The mecca of arenas in America, right? And that being the place where he chose has to relate to a 1939 Nazi rally.
The signs were there.
Why you guys lost for nonsense like this. It's such a reach to say that this was because there was a Nazi rally there 60 years ago is insane. And
but
anybody in their right mind thinks you're crazy.
You can even identify it in the Republican Party and like the stuff they say about Ukraine. Like the whole like isolationist mindset that MAGA now has is technically a form of ultranationalism, right? Because in nations that are ultra nationalist, they essentially prioritize their interests over all other nations. They don't care about what's going on in any other country. And we see this particular nationalism, now being perpetuated regularly in our political climate, right? People come up and talk about, they don't necessarily use the word isolationism, but it is isolationism.
I have a question. You're a pretty smart guy, Adam.
Even if I try and explain it to them, right? Tariffs, right? But even if I try and explain it to them, right? They still won't get it. Even if I'm explaining to them in detail why it's more likely we engage in World War III if we do not defend the sovereignty of Ukraine, right? That the long-term health of the United States depends on the long-term health of NATO, and the long-term health of NATO depends on the sovereignty of Ukraine. Right. And so if I'm explaining this to them in detail and why it's more likely, at the end of the conversation, I still think we should only worry about the United States. Fuck them. Right. That's like an ultra nationalist mentality.
You sound like a Republican during the Vietnam War.
This is how nationalism meant. Like, do you see what I'm saying? How it manifests? It becomes we start with Colin Kaepernick, but the ball keeps rolling. Now, before you know it, we're talking about pulling out of NATO. We're talking about like not engaging in any like geopolitical conflict, regardless of how it may impact the United States in the future. Like, we're having big rallies. Like, do you understand? Like, it's a ball that continues to keep rolling and get worse and worse, which is why I said to you before, I think nationalism is just as bad as ultra-nationalism, right? It's just nationalism on steroids.
Let me ask you a question.
People will define nationalism as just having a strong love for your country, but it's not really. It's toxic. It's all on the level of being toxic. All of it.
Answer a question of mine? Over the past 40 years, what wars do you think we were righteous in fighting?
None. Righteous?
Yeah, like where it was for the right cause, where there was an effect that was going to happen if we didn't get involved in it that was detrimental to the world.
How many years?
Let's say 40. Let's go back to Vietnam.
40?
Let's go back to Vietnam. I'm giving you, and you can just pick and choose whatever.
What you're trying to do is make an argument. You're asking a question as if like, well, was World War II important?
I didn't go back to World War II. That was the last righteous war.
Coincidentally, you didn't go to World War II.
The last righteous war we had was
Coincidentally, you didn't ask me far enough back where I can mention World War II. Coincidentally, because you know that would dismantle your argument. So you're trying to just put me in a box where I can say, well, Afghanistan and Iraq and Vietnam and these wars were mistakes. Look.
So you're agreeing with me that since World War II, we really haven't
I could turn this argument on you and explain to you.
We really can't come up with one since World War II?
Do you know that our invasion of Vietnam is an example of why fear-mongering about communism is a dangerous way to run?
So we shouldn't have been in Vietnam, correct?
Yeah, but do you understand that's largely a result of fear-mongering about communist ideology like you were just doing 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, it was. That's part of it. That's what they sold the Americans on that. That's how they sold the Americans on that. Like they're selling the Ukraine. What do you?
Here's the thing: why did World War II happen? What was the main reason? Like the United States lack of involvement early on, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
The United States should have been involved much earlier than they were.
They should have. In retrospect, they should have, yes.
And why weren't we?
Because we wanted to keep, we felt it wasn't on our shores and we didn't want our guys to die.
Because I think that's of isolationism. As a result of what?
Nationalism? Is that what you're getting at?
No, World War I. So just like you're doing, pointing at wars we probably should not have engaged in, right? And saying, well, look at these wars. This war, World War I was the exact reason we became isolationist, and that resulted in the Third Reich. That resulted in us having to storm the beaches of Normandy to liberate Europe, Drew. So understand that your argument has historical references, okay? We were just like this post-World War I. We were isolationist. And we did not get involved in World War II until we were attacked. So this idea that we should only worry about the United States because maybe we've been involved in wars that were mistakes isn't a legitimate argument, because I can do the same thing. I can point specifically to that time period and show you as a result, it caused the creation and the success of the Third Reich and Adolf Schmittler, right?
Could you be involved in conflicts without actually perpetuating it with weapons and things like that? Could you be involved in other ways, like? But
we're not actively doing that right now.
Diplomatically,
we're not actively doing that right now. We're not actively doing that right now.
We were prior to this administration. Russia had sanctions.
What administration? Biden's still president.
I'm saying during this administration, we don't now.
Prior.
What we do is.
Wait. How are we perpetuating the war? Tell me. Who invaded Ukraine?
Russia invaded Ukraine.
Okay. And why?
Because Ukraine decided not to honor the Minsk agreement.
Wrong. Are you insinuating what did that agreement say?
The Minsk agreement was like a ceasefire, and
this is totally made up bullshit. Where'd you read this?
The Minsk agreement is made up.
Where did you read that Ukraine violated the agreement?
I don't know.
You're just making shit up. You're just making shit up.
I'm not. And
it's actually this is not true.
Immediately prior.
Yes, he is. He's
prior to Russia's invasion.
He's mispronouncing it to no surprise. But anyway, the point is this, Drew. Are you claiming that Vladimir Putin is not at fault?
Why don't you enlighten me about the Minsk agreement?
You're just proving my point. Is Vladimir Putin at fault for the war?
Now you're going to drop me soon because I brought up a point that you don't want to talk about.
You're making I'm not going to drop you.
Okay. All right. So explain the Minsk agreement.
Shut up.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
For a second.
I want to know where I'm wrong.
Excuse me.
You're just saying I'm wrong without making.
Because I can prove my point through just asking a question if you'll shut up. All right. So who's responsible? Is Vladimir Putin responsible for what's happening in Ukraine? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So that's all that matters, right? The United States is assisting Ukraine in defending their sovereignty. Russia invaded Ukraine. So how are we perpetuating the war? That's the question.
By not even remotely trying.
That's not true. That's also false. That's not true either.
Biden didn't give one diplomatic approach to ending this war.
Not true.
Once.
Not true. Nothing is going to.
Stop saying not true and then explain why I'm wrong.
It isn't true. So I will explain. Because there is no agreement that's going to involve surrendering territory, Drew. Okay. So do you think that it's a good idea? So your plan is that we should allow them to invade a completely sovereign nation and then give them resources and territory, reward them for their invasion of this sovereign nation? That's the precedent.
Which conversation did we have?
That's the precedent.
That he was going to give up land.
That's the precedent you want to set. Do you think Do you think China is paying incredibly close attention to how we handle this situation? Do you think they would at all consider like moving forward with Taiwan?
Let's stay focused. You take your ADD medication this morning? Let's stay focused.
What?
So you're saying?
What'd you just say?
Stay focused.
What'd you just say?
You gonna take your medication this morning because you're flying all over the place. Now we're talking about China. I don't know. Let's stay focused on the subject, bro.
Drew, because of China and Taiwan, you toenail.
All right, but we weren't done with the other conversation.
I'm not trying to get in a conversation about China, you toenail. Okay. It's important to the conversation, right? China is watching how we handle this situation, right? In regards to whether or not they're going to take Taiwan. I know you don't understand geopolitics, but maybe if you stop talking long enough, you can understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. They're watching. So you're saying that we tried no diplomatic effort whatsoever because
I didn't say that.
Did we have any diplomatic effort at all to try to stop this war?
Yeah, Putin can leave. If he wants to have a talk, he needs to leave Ukraine. That's the only solution here.
Okay, how's that working out?
You're not allowed to just invade completely sovereign fucking nations, right? Where do you get off thinking that you're allowed to do that, and then we're going to sit down? Like, yeah, we're going to force you. Hold on, shush.
Maybe Iraq is where I got that.
Drew,
I got that crazy harebrained idea. Maybe Iraq.
What?
Maybe the fact that a country could.
Yeah, you guys always go back to Iraq, and that was done under a Republican administration. Okay, so I don't know why you guys bring that up like that was a Democrat. Like that was done under like a Republican administration, Muppets. So anyway, this guy just totally doesn't understand this situation at all. Ukraine wants to fight back, so he's telling us we should force a peace deal, telling Ukraine, right, guys, you're not allowed to fight anymore. And we're going to force you to surrender territory in your own country because we want to stop supporting and assisting and defending your sovereignty. Yeah, they always giggle when they fucking don't know what they're talking about. They do it all the time. Unmute Drew. Drew's one of these guys that can go on.
That's not what I was saying at all. That's what you're saying that I'm saying, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we didn't even try any diplomacy whatsoever. Zero. I'm not saying that because of this will happen, that, and this. That's all conjecture and nonsense. There wasn't even an attempt. Why? Because we want that war. We want those resources. We want Ukraine to owe us. We want all these things for the future of some multinational corporation that's going to make $1 trillion. That's why. And if you haven't seen the history of why we were in wars and why we're not in wars and why we get involved in certain conflicts and you don't see follow the money aspect of it, then you're fucking blind and stupid.
Okay, what money are you talking about? What war? Tell us how to follow the money. Go.
Ukraine is sitting on a giant amount of minerals, natural gas, and they're the breadbasket of the world when it comes to wheat. They're huge. They have more natural resources.
I don't
than
give a
all of
shit
Europe.
about the shit you read off a website. Be quiet. Can you just tell me, how does the money laundering work go?
Laundering. Who's talking about laundering? What are you talking about?
You say we want to launder money?
No, that's not what I said.
What'd you say about money?
I said the long-term goal of this war is for us to seek favor and have our national, our multinational corporations in there, as opposed to Russia.
Wait, so tell me how to follow the money.
And us benefiting, or the multinationals that are on the European side or on the
sad part
west
is this
side.
guy actually believes he knows what he's talking about, which is amazing. Like,
This
literally,
has been a fight over what?
they invaded a sovereign nation. That's what. Ask Vladimir Putin. Why does he claim? Vladimir Putin claims there was bioweapons.
He just woke up one day and decided that Ukraine is the country he wants to invade.
No, he has long wanted to recreate the Soviet Union. It's been that way for decades. He's long stated that he wanted to recreate the Soviet Empire.
Show me one time. Pull up one time that he actually stated that.
Yeah, sure. So I can give you a number of different
Just one.
statements, but I would point to
Just one.
things. Can you shut up?
I want to see one.
He's not gonna word for word say, I want to
so
recreate
we
the Soviet.
assume that's what he meant.
No.
think we know what he thought.
Hold on. He's actively.
That sounds pretty solid.
Can you shut up?
Go ahead.
God damn, are you married?
Let's see this solid
you
argument.
married?
Yes.
Holy shit.
25
God
years.
bless her soul. Holy fuck. I mean, having an argument with you must be.
Are you?
Having an argument with you must be a fucking nightmare. Like,
Are you
seriously.
married?
So here's the point, right? Obviously, he's not going to say, I intend to do this. He's going to use excuses, right? Denazification, bioweapons production, things like that, right?
You got to read some tea leaves, I guess, right?
Why is he lying about the justification for the war? Drew, why is he lying about the justification?
reading the tea leaves.
This guy won't let me finish. He just keeps interrupting.
Was it silly, your argument? Go
It's
ahead.
not silly. Why is he lying about the justification for the invasion then?
What do you mean? What is he lying about?
I just told you. Bioweapons production would be a good example.
Well, I thought it was the Nazis that came in.
There was multiple excuses. Those were a couple of them.
So you don't think when the
I love the questions that start with "you don't think."
when Ukraine changed
Again, stop pivoting. Why is Vladimir Putin lying about the justification for the war if it's justified?
I don't know how much he's lying.
Why is Vladimir Putin lying about the justification of the war if it's justified?
I don't know how much he's lying, is what I'm saying.
Oh, so you think there is bioweapons production?
No.
Would you
I don't
believe
know.
the Department of? Would
I
you
don't know
believe
it,
the
neither
Department?
do you.
Would you believe
Bro,
the Department?
neither do you. Neither one of us know anything.
So I'll give you an example, right? Would you believe the United States Department of Defense over the Kremlin?
When it comes to a war and justifying a war, I believe Yellow Cake too. I believe Yellow Cake, and I believe WMDs
There it is,
too.
ladies and gentlemen.
I believe WMDs.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe Donald Rumsfeld.
There it is, everybody.
In front of the country.
I proved my
said that
point.
we
No, I
believe
proved my point right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all there for you. You don't
that
need to say
Yellow
a
Cake-
thing. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen.
WMDs.
There we
and
go.
Yellow
We
Cake
got a
to
full-blown
justify
Soviet
the
in the
invasion
house.
of Iraq.
We got a full-blown Soviet. For the motherland!
I guess this is the entertaining part of your show.
Be quiet, Sputnik.
Just so you know, in the chat, when I used the example of Iraq, it clearly showed how we'll go to no lengths and we'll lie to the American people to justify wars that we get involved with, like lying about Yellow Creek and weapons.
Hey, thank you so much for that.
You've seen that a lot.
Thank you for that
Gulf of
gift.
Tonkin, same situation.
Hugh Christ, thank you so much for that gift. I appreciate you. Dude, you are a freaking full-blown Soviet, you Sputnik Muppet.
I just don't believe in our American propaganda.
Sputnik
And now all
Muppet in
of
the
a sudden
chat.
you guys do. It's so bizarre.
Sputnik Muppet in the chat. Listen, comrade. Sputnik Muppet in the chat, everybody. Sputnik Muppet in the chat. Listen, Drew.
What do you think of the Iraq War? Oh, you were a kid.
Okay, yeah. What about the Iraq War?
You weren't. How old were you? 4?
I was a kid when that war happened.
Yeah, so I can't even have that conversation with you.
Yes, you can, because I know more about it than you do.
You weren't watching the briefings, were you?
Yeah, I know a lot about that war. So you want to tell me? So wait.
So Ukrainian Rumsfeld.
I don't need to. I'm not justifying the war in Iraq. I'm well aware of what happened.
All right, no, I'm not getting to that.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. The point is this:
did our country lie to us?
Guy, you're saying
and
no, Dick Cheney lied to us. Yeah, Dick Cheney
and Rumsfeld.
Yeah, they did. Those people did lie to us. Yes, but that's not.
And did the Department of Defense or anybody else?
Hold on, that's not what I asked.
Stand up and say they're lying.
That's not what I asked you.
Those are lies.
Not what I asked you. I asked you who you would believe, the Department of Defense or the Kremlin. You said, well, in this circumstance, I'd probably believe. So that's what I asked you. I didn't ask you whether or not the United States has made mistakes in war. Of course they have. That's not what I'm saying. But, in this circumstance, I think you should believe the Department of Defense. You live in the United States. It's funny. On one hand, these guys will get pissed that you don't fucking stand for the national anthem. And then another moment, they'll be saying, don't trust the DOD. 1776 Muppets. Stand for the national anthem or we will cancel you. And then 5 seconds later, don't trust the DOD, trust the Kremlin. It's a walking contradiction.
Because trusting the government and trusting
bro was just explaining why it's important that you say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag 20 minutes ago, and now he's telling you that he believes the Kremlin.
It's not what I said.
Oh God, it's too fucking funny, man.
Try to win an argument over what? Over your fans? I don't even know why that even matters. I said neither one of us know the right story about anything. The claim that we do is ridiculous.
I'm not trying to win an argument. I did win the argument.
With the history that we have in this country, to just wholeheartedly believe in American propaganda or wholeheartedly believe in Russian propaganda.
Believe in American propaganda.
Either one is completely
come full
nuts.
circle, ladies and gentlemen. We have literally come full circle in the course of this conversation. Now we're talking about
propaganda on each side is crazy.
No, that's
Russian
too
propaganda
good.
or any propaganda.
That's too fucking good, man. Stop. That is too fucking funny. The fact that now he's talking about American propaganda is the most hilarious thing. This conversation went from talking about
Guess
the
what,
dangers
guys?
of
On your side during Iraq, which I
we were
agreed
talking
with,
about the dangers
we're
of
spouting the same shit I was spouting.
We were talking that you were disputing that.
Some way you
were
guys
disputing
changed. I
that
don't know why.
nationalism and ultranationalism are dangerous, and within a half an hour, I have you defending Russia. Like you're a walking contradiction. Like literally, like it's funny. You're not seeing it, but people are seeing it. It's funny, dude. It's funny.
So we're supposed to take at face value would any one of these countries.
You're coming full circle. This is great.
Yeah. All right. Ready? Any country, for that matter, for the justification and non-justification of a war coming out of their administration, we're supposed to take that at face value. From any country, ours, Russia's, Ukraine's.
No,
anybody.
that's not what I said. But
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait,
Right,
no,
so that's
no
not
one said
crazy,
anything
right?
about face value, but what I'm saying is the DOD,
You got that right?
you said, well, we I don't know if there is. And I said, well, the question was going to be the Department of Defense has confirmed that there are operating laboratories for the purpose of studying pathogens and defense, and they're not producing bioweapons. And so I was simply asking you, is the DOD a more credible source than the Kremlin? Right? I was just asking you, right? If I'm provided evidence, okay, that there's bioweapons production in Ukraine, then guess what? Of course, I'm not going to believe it. In the case of Iraq and them saying there was weapons of mass destruction, well, you certainly would have wanted to see weapons of mass destruction. There's been no evidence presented from Russia that there's bioweapons production in Ukraine. It's just a lie. It's not true. And then the DOD had confirmed that it's a lie, right? There's no credible evidence out there that exists that supports the existence of bioweapons, labs for the purpose of bioweapons production in Ukraine. If I saw evidence, maybe I would question my government. He's going to Google. Go Google and see.
I'm not Googling anything.
Because it's not just the United States, right? There's tons of people out there that have debunked this talking point, but Vladimir Putin is lying about the justification. So why is he lying about the justification? Because he doesn't have a legitimate justification, Muppet. There is no.
He wants to reestablish the Soviet Union.
He wants to recreate the Soviet Empire. And I always talk about what he said in 2005, right? Thinking about the last century, he said the greatest collapse in history geopolitically was the Soviet Union in the last century. Do you think the collapse of the Soviet Union was a greater geopolitical catastrophe than the Holocaust?
No.
What?
No.
Right. So isn't that a ridiculous statement?
Yeah, but I don't know in what context he said that.
Do you need more context than him saying that it was the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest? He said the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century. That's the context.
Yeah, I don't agree with that statement.
Yeah,
no.
well, duh.
But that doesn't mean that he wants to recreate the Soviet Union.
Well, it does, because he's invaded Ukraine now. So he's actually taken action. We know.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other countries that were in the Soviet Union.
So why is he invading Ukraine? Why is he invading Ukraine?
I don't like anything you say.
His territory.
Anything you say is going to say it's Russian propaganda because it doesn't go with the talking points of our government.
To expand his territory over former Soviet territory. It's obvious, dude. He constantly talks about Ukraine being a part of Russia. There's just a million different things.
I think possibly what it was is he saw that the West was cozying up with the Ukraine. Ukraine is super rich in natural resources.
So Russia doesn't have a right.
He tried to circumvent that relationship with the Minsk agreement.
Russia doesn't have a right to tell Ukraine not to join NATO. Ukraine can join NATO.
It's not just NATO. I think there's money involved too. I think that Russia wanted to be cozied up to Ukraine to seek the benefits or get the benefits of the natural resources.
He doesn't get to expand to historically Russian. He wants historically Russian lands to recreate the.
Do you think we've meddled in that whole negotiation there for our own interests?
What?
Do you think we've meddled in the business of Ukraine and Russia? For our own interests, because we had our own interest with Ukraine.
Well, it's our own interest in terms of the sovereignty of Ukraine, I think.
Nothing to do with the natural resources.
No, I think it's even more than that. That territory specifically is incredibly important. Why? Mm-hmm. Because we believe that Vladimir Putin intends on, once he absorbs Ukraine, attacking a NATO ally, and strategically, militarily, would give him an extreme advantage.
So Russia,
obviously, there's resources to obtain by absorbing Ukraine. That's an obvious point. I don't know why you keep making
Do you think that Russia is using the full might of their army and navy and air force and everything to fight this war in Ukraine?
I don't think they've used all of it. No, but they've used a lot. They've suffered significant loss.
Right, but what I'm saying is, do you think that they are?
What's your point?
My point is, I think that they were trying. I think that they ended up in a situation where they were trying to show might to try to bully them around into keeping them out of NATO and keeping them friendly with them, so they had access to the natural.
You don't do that by committing war crimes, my guy.
I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying
you don't do that.
I'm not justifying what he did.
You don't do that by committing.
I'm not justifying that he did it. I'm saying
they're literally essaying they're essaying kids. Like Russian soldiers are essaying
how many times do I gotta say I'm not justifying it?
Women and telling them so they won't be able to have a Ukrainian.
We both think that it was
They're literally committing ethnic cleansing, Drew. They're literally bombing children's hospitals. They're unaliving towns of civilians. They've done horribly grotesque war crimes ordered by Vladimir Putin. No, they're not trying to cozy up next to them. No, they're trying to take Ukraine. And if we withdraw support from Ukraine, ultimately Ukraine will fall. Zelensky will be probably unalived in the middle of Kiev, and Ukraine will be a part of Russia. And then not long after that, it's likely he attacks Poland. That triggers Article 5, and we would go to war.
I guess we'll see how this plays out. You assume you know what you're talking about. You're using conjecture
I'm not using conjecture. I'm using.
You are. You're trying to predict the future, as if you have any fucking clue.
No, there's U.S. intelligence. Do you think the United States is?
You get read in on the
States is doing that? Do you think the United States?
In the morning before you do your show.
Does the United States? Do our United States?
You went to the intelligence briefings in the morning.
Do our United States intelligence? No, our United States intelligence. Wait. That information's public. You do know.
Yeah, Muppet.
You do know it's public, right? You middle-aged.
Yes. Classified intelligence readings are public.
Wait, hold on. That's not what all this guy does is talk over you, so you can't explain. So yes, it's public information that we know Russia is. He just keeps talking. He doesn't want me to talk. Whenever I talk, I make him look.
That's all you do is talk. You never shut the fuck up.
Well, listen. Well, stop speaking, right? Stop speaking, right? It's not my fault that you're 5'5". All right, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. All right. So, all right, I'm pretty close, right? I'm pretty close, right?
No, 6'2".
Yeah, I'm sure. My ass. My ass. Maybe if you're standing on top of your truck. So listen, it's public information that they plan on attacking Poland, who's a NATO ally. I don't need to be in intelligence briefings to know that that's one of the concerns of the United States government, that they plan on attacking Poland, who's a NATO ally. You don't need to be a part of an intelligence briefing to know that information. You don't know that information because you don't know what you're talking about. Right. You have very little knowledge of this war, right? So you don't really understand what's going on. You're one of these people that thinks that it's a justified invasion. You didn't even know it's public information. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that politicians have openly stated this information, that the concern is that they will challenge Poland, right? That's the concern.
What was the Minsk agreement? Minks.
The Mink, that has nothing to do. Listen, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I know exactly what it is.
Do you know it?
Yes.
You have the information because you seem to be an expert.
It has nothing to do.
You're an expert.
Did they violate the Budapest Memorandum before they violated?
92? Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened.
They violated a pre-existing agreement before that, so it doesn't matter.
Explain Minsk 1 and Minsk 2.
Drew, with all due respect,
I
understand that it's very difficult to be a middle-aged. You going to interrupt me again?
No, go ahead.
All right, shut up. I understand it's very difficult to be middle-aged and not know a lot. You're not even fucking pronouncing it right, you shoe. You're not even pronouncing it right.
Who cares?
You're embarrassing yourself. You look
That's
like
not
a
embarrassing.
you look like a Timu Scott Steiner. You look like a Timu Scott Steiner. It's fucking, he's not even pronouncing it correctly. And he's claiming Ukraine violated it. It's fucking embarrassing. Looking like a Timu Scott Steiner. This guy's lagging. What's going on, user? Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to go back to the nationalist versus ultranationalism.
Okay.
See what you think, because I think there is a point in there where it turns from good to bad.
But I'm going to come from a different point. I think nationalism, just generally speaking, is toxic.
Well, when they were teaching it really hard, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, it was more from an idea of we won the world wars and our way of life, our freedoms, we were trying to spread throughout the world at that time. So when you're proud of your country and you're, you want to spread those beliefs. If you don't think your country's the best, then you're not going to try and spread your beliefs of freedom throughout the world. But at the time, we had the most freedom in the world. Do you think so?
And wait, I don't know. You say we have to think our country is the best?
At the time, the amount of freedoms our country had was the best out of the entire world. Would you agree with that point?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, we're talking about where it turns from good to bad.
What turns?
The whole point of it being good, the only reason it's good, in my opinion, is we wanted to spread our ideals throughout the world, which was all the freedoms of the Constitution. Now, when you go past that point and say, well, our country can do no wrong, screw everybody else, that's ultra, and that's bad. That's where I feel like there should be a distinction. You can use, it can be a force for good, but if you go too far with it, it turns bad. But that's all I wanted to.
I guess I kind of understand what you're trying to say, but I don't think I don't know what you mean. I'm kind of confused. I guess I don't know what you mean. Maybe I don't know what you mean. You're talking about within the United States, right?
Do we have the most freedoms in the world out of any country?
No.
No, you don't think so? Did we back then?
What are we number one? Like what can no?
Well, just the freedom. Through the Constitution.
What are we the best at? What are we the best at in the United States? Go ahead.
Allowing people to have their freedom. Would you agree with that?
No.
The right to protest, the right to free speech.
Other countries have these things. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, at the time,
you think freedom of speech is like?
It's just an example. It's. We thought we were the best at the time with all these freedoms, and we wanted to spread them throughout the world. So, were we a...
Guys, if you'd like to support the live, at least this guy's a little bit more intelligent than Drew, but I'd appreciate tapping the screen, sharing the live, contributing to the gifting goal. If you guys would like to support the live, you can on Venmo. My Venmo's Adam Crave Politics. I have a headache. I would appreciate tapping the screen and sharing the live.
I'm sorry about that.
Listen, man. So, I don't think you fully understand the concept of what ultranationalism is. So, this is kind of. Are you a Trump supporter?
I was.
You what? You were. You're not anymore.
When it was time to vote.
Oh my God, they got him. You there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What happened? Go ahead.
I voted for him, but there's things coming out now that, I mean, he's not even in office yet, and I don't like it, but.
Oh, yeah, like what? Like, you having buyer's remorse? Ooh, this is good. Tell me about it.
No, the Project 2025 and his picks for the government. It's just about everything they've said.
Wait. You're not actually. Wait. So, this is good. So you are upset that Project 2025 is being implemented.
Well, they're saying it's going to be. He's not in office yet.
Oh, God, this is not real.
It's really,
Oh, God,
you know,
man.
it's really, at the end of the day, it's really about actions speak louder than words.
It triggers Article 5, right? And we go to war. So that's what I'm saying is.
So that will be a stop to him. So do you think he would risk taking Poland too if that means we're automatically going to war with them? Ukraine did not apparently.
Yes, because he'll be in a much better position to do so. He's actively threatening nuclear deployment right now. He's threatening the United States with nuclear deployment as we fucking speak. I do think, yes, he intends on doing so. Yes, I do. Vladimir Putin is an unhinged dictator. If he's in if he has a better strategic advantage militarily, I certainly think he's going to do that. Yes.
Okay, well,
and so does the United States government, by the way.
I've got a question for you, and I'm trying to play gotcha, but so when Trump was in office, why didn't he try and do any of this? If that's his vision, I mean, it probably is. So when he was in office the first
don't
time,
worry, you're not going to get a gotcha. Why didn't Trump do what? Why didn't Trump do what?
When Trump was in office, why didn't Putin try and take Ukraine and do any of this warship back then?
He did do stuff, right? He bombed Ukrainian naval vessels in the Azov, right? He did do things. You just didn't hear about it because Donald Trump refused to condemn it. They annexed Crimea in 2014. This was still ongoing, like in the Donbass under the Trump administration. This didn't stop. It was still happening. Trump just didn't do anything about it. The difference is the United States government, once he decided to further aggress upon Ukraine under the Biden administration, decided to support, continue to support and assist in defending their sovereignty. But part of the thing to understand is that Trump bears responsibility because if you really want to talk about Trump has caused such a level of division in the United States. I think that Vladimir Putin has taken advantage of that division he's caused and used that as the time to further aggress, right? To become more aggressive in that region because he sees the level of division in the United States. Like he sees January 6th, he sees these things happening. And so he knows this is the best time we could possibly do this, right? Is the United States is divided. Donald Trump refuses to condemn my actions, whether it's in regards to undermining the integrity of our elections, interfering in our elections, whether it's bombing Ukrainian naval vessels, no matter what it is, Donald Trump doesn't condemn my actions and the United States is divided. What a better time than now to invade, to further aggress, rather.
Okay, well,
so Donald Trump just didn't condemn it, right? He just didn't.
I don't really agree with the half. I mean, it's like half measures giving our weapons to them, and it's just like a half war. I don't understand it.
No, it's not, dude. Ukraine wants to fight. Ukraine wants to fight back. We're just giving them we're giving them the support they need to fight back. They want to fight back. It's not like we're telling you guys got to fight back. They want to fight. By the way, they're going to fight whether we support them or not.
Yeah, I was talking about the United States.
The only difference is they're all going to die if we don't. So, and then the United States is going to be in trouble.
Okay. Well, it seems like we barely touch a toe into these conflicts and don't get to the bottom of it and just let it drag on and on. It's just every war has been dragging for like the last 20 years or so. It just drags on and on and on. Conflicts don't get resolved.
you can't allow authoritarians. Did you take history class in like 8th grade?
That was a while ago.
Okay, so what during World War II, like, did anyone stand up to Germany, or is it largely the reason they were as successful as they were was because of superpowers' unwillingness to get involved?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't allow authoritarian dictators to just stampede, just steamroll other countries, right? And be like, well, that's not our business, and expect it not to affect you.
Well, that's true.
Hold on, and expect it not to affect you. It will ultimately affect you, right? It does have consequences.
So what is the answer for getting that conflict over with? Because
I don't think there is I don't think I could give you like a definitive, this is how it's going to
just a general, or just
well,
a general idea.
what I can tell you is that I think that we need to continue to, it's a situation that's always going to be evolving. I think that Russia can't go on forever, and I think we need to do whatever we can in the process to minimize their aggression. I don't know that I can give you an answer of how it's going to be resolved. If I had to take a guess, I would say that depending on what approach we take, if we continue down the path of assisting them, I think it's likely there'll be some kind of coup inside of Russia eventually, and Vladimir Putin would lose his power. I think that's probably ultimately what would happen. Because I don't think he can necessarily retreat because he believes he would lose his power. I think he would lose his power. These authoritarians, they run on fear, right? They maintain authority by fear. Fear is their motivator. So if they invade another country and suffer significant loss, both human life and resources militarily, I don't think you can just withdraw without actually getting something out of it, which is why I think he's not going to leave unless they surrender some type of territory. I think the United States, believe it or not, I'm going to tell you this, I think the United States has Russia in a corner right now. I think Vladimir Putin's in a corner. We have, I think that he's literally in the worst spot he could be in right now. And we're going to let him out potentially under the Trump administration. And that's really disturbing to me. Right, because we have him right where we want him, right? They're showing signs of depleted resources in their armored vehicles. It's not like we don't have signs that they're depleted. We do. We know that morale is down. We know they've suffered significant loss. North Korean troops now being sent to Russia. So I think if we continue down this path, it may take a while. It would be really worth it in the end. I really think the benefits are enormous.
Yeah, I thought they were a superpower. I mean, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble with this small country, Ukraine, and they shouldn't have that much.
Because of us.
Take it,
Right, because of us. But they're also not using their nuclear deployment capabilities either.
Right. Well, see, then they're doing a half-in war, and then we're doing a half-in. It just seems like it's about making money to me. It don't seem like
it's not, dude. The reason they're not using nuclear deployment is because they know that will be the end of them. Right? Okay. It'll be over. It's very much about us and our support. Right? They're using their resources. They're just not using nukes. They're not using tactical nuclear weapons. But yeah, I just think this is the best possible approach for us. Again, I can't give you an answer on how long it would be. I don't know. I think we need to do it as long as we possibly can. If it was up to me, I would say as long as we possibly can.
Are we going to run them out of resources? Eventually, they'll just quit.
I think eventually Putin would be overthrown if this takes too much longer. I really do. I don't know how much the people around him are willing to put up with this and for how much longer. I think Putin could see the end of his reign in Russia if we were to, but I don't know that we're going to continue down the path that I want us to continue down. I think it's likely we won't. I don't know. Drew is such a fan. Yeah, he's a middle-aged. He's one of these MAGA middle-aged Muppets that sits in here all day. He's really creepy. Go ahead, guest.
Well, another reason I voted for Trump is his worldview. I mean, foreign wise, it's not, the Republicans have been for war. I don't know. They've been war hawks, I guess, just to generalize it. They wanted to go to war for not just about Russia, just every spot in the world, like Gaddafi and just different places in the world.
Here you are again. You know what the common theme among you MAGA people is? You all support Russia. You all try and make excuses. You all try and make excuses for, why this is happening in the United States.
I'm not talking about Russia.
You're saying Russia's a war hawk?
I'm talking about no. I said Republicans.
The United States is a war hawk, is what you said.
I said Republicans have been.
Oh, Republicans.
They've been all for war.
100% they are. Agreed. Yeah. I thought you said the United States. Yes, they 100% are. They got us into our last wars. So,
but Trump
said, Johnny, don't tell me what to do, Johnny. All right? You little fanboy. Goodbye.
Trump has not gone with that flow. He's more of.
No, Donald Trump is also.
We will get in. Don't bother us.
I knew you were going here. No, I knew you were going here. No.
Well, Donald he didn't start any new wars when he was in office the first time.
See, I knew you were going here. So here's the thing, right? What is Donald Trump's proposal to stop children from dying in Gaza? And by the way, Donald Trump increased military operations in Afghanistan under his term. So there were increased airstrikes under Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not anti-war. So can you tell me very quickly, what's Donald Trump's proposal to stop children from dying in Gaza?
I'm going to guess he said finish them off because I think I've heard.
Thank you. Does that sound anti-war to you? Can you tell me what percentage of the population of Gaza are children?
I'm not talking about current.
Excuse me, you're talking about war. Can you tell me what percentage of the population in Gaza are children?
I cannot tell you that number, no.
50%. Half. More than half are children. So Donald Trump, in front of the world, said, finish them off. Does that sound anti-war to you?
It isn't about. It's about existing wars versus starting new ones. He doesn't believe it's our place to insert ourselves in every single.
It's not a war. It's not a war. It's a genocide. It's not a war.
Well, it's been going on for centuries.
Yeah, it's not a war.
Okay, well, a conflict or however you want to term it, but it's been going on for centuries, and us stepping into it, probably not going to be able to fix it. So he said,
right. So we should just wipe them off the face of the earth, right? So we should just wipe them off the face of the earth, right? That sounds very anti-war to me. The point is, dude, right? Centuries, yes. Listen. So anyway, listen, okay, guy. The point I'm trying to make is that he's not anti-war. Okay, you said he was anti-war. I was just simply trying to point out that he's not anti-war. Donald Trump's not an anti-war candidate. Okay, he loves war. He doesn't give a shit.
Well, his rhetoric, he'll fired up about, I'm going to bomb you, I'm going to nuke you. His rhetoric goes way over the top. But in terms of new wars that he started, I don't think there was new wars that he started. There was some existing ones he did.
I disagree with you. I think Donald Trump is responsible for what happened on October 7th. I think Donald Trump is responsible, like I stated for you already, for them further aggressing in Ukraine. I think Donald Trump's foreign policy caused October 7th. I think Donald Trump's leadership caused Russia to further aggress upon Ukraine. So I disagree with you.
Well, if it's Trump's fault that they have been aggressing into Ukraine, I mean, our government could have done something to stop them, could they not? I mean, we could have gone more than
We are. Donald Trump wants to stop doing that.
I think he's just going to get an agreement now between both sides. I don't think.
And he's going to force a peace deal that involves surrendering territory.
Yeah. Well, they weren't part of NATO to begin with.
So what?
I think they were trying
to. If they're part of NATO.
It's more of there's a red line.
They should be a part of NATO.
They applied for it, but they didn't get in for some reason. I don't know. I don't know everything. They tried to join NATO, but they weren't able to join it for some reason. I don't know why.
So anyway, dude, here's the point. Are you saying they shouldn't? You think they should not join NATO, or they should?
Well, they should, but it's a red line when you join NATO. That's it. Nothing, no aggression. If anything happens, then we're there for you. Instead of it's a gray area. You're not part of NATO, but we want to stop Russia. We're going to help you, but we can't just completely end it. If Russia attacked Poland, who's a NATO country, who would all be coming to their defense?
Right, exactly. It triggers Article 5.
That's a red line there. But with Ukraine, there wasn't a red line. I think that's what was missing.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should eventually join NATO, but the point is that there's nothing preventing them from doing so. But they're a sovereign nation. Just because they're not a part of NATO doesn't mean it's not important to assist them in defending their country, right? They're a sovereign nation with a democratically elected president who were invaded by an authoritarian dictator. Do you think that China is paying incredibly close attention? Let's just go outside of the box here and think about the precedent. What precedent are we setting by allowing an authoritarian to invade a sovereign nation with a democratically elected president, overthrow that government, absorb that country, and become more powerful? What precedent are we setting if we don't assist that country in defending themselves?
Well, it opens them up to do something.
Are we setting a terrible precedent?
Yes, it opens them up to do something with Taiwan.
Do you think China would then consider taking Taiwan?
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. So there is serious consequences globally for not supporting Ukraine. There's horrible precedent to be set. You need to be careful about what kind of precedent you're setting here. We have a pre-existing obligation, obviously, in the Budapest Memorandum. We have a million different fucking reasons as to why this is necessary. And truthfully, what it comes down to is Russia becoming more powerful is bad for the United States. That's all it means. The more powerful Russia becomes, the more dangerous that is for the United States.
Well,
and that's a fact. While Vladimir Putin is in charge, it is a fact.
I just don't think we should have done the barely help. If we're going to help them, if we're going to do it, go in there and say, this is a red line. They're not part of NATO, but it's a red line anyway. Don't mess with us. Don't mess with Ukraine. Enough. It's really black and white for me. I don't think the gray area does anybody any good, and there's a lot of lives lost with everybody sitting in the gray area.
What was that? Say that last part again. Sorry, I'm in a tough part of solitaire. What'd you say? When this first started, we should have just went over there and set up and said, I mean, I know you can't do that at the very beginning, but near the beginning, we should have set up and said, okay, you're not going to do this. We've got all our people stationed here. We're defending Ukraine. You're going to come to the table. It's just a different strategy. Instead of everybody sits in the gray area and people die on both sides and money is sent over and over, you do a red line. We're over here. Do not mess with our troops over here. If you do, it's war. Come to the table right now. I just think it should have been a more a harder response, I guess, instead of staying in the gray area. You know what I mean by gray area? Not really.
Like, we'll help you, but we're not going to do troops, but you can't use certain missiles that we have. Oh, now you can. I mean, I don't think Biden giving them, after Biden was voted out, he gave the go-ahead to use missiles like that. I don't know why he did that, but.
So do you think the United States escalated tensions, or do you think tensions were escalated by North Korea?
Both. Okay. I'll see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, both sides upped it, but they did it first. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's always shady. I'm waiting for the Putin apologist to come out.
Who, of me?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Why the fuck did you vote for Trump, man?
I needed something different. I needed something.
Who'd you vote for last time before Trump?
I voted for Biden in 2020.
I don't believe you. You're lying to me, right? How fucking dare you lie to me right
Well,
now?
it was
You
more
just
of a
no, you just lied to me.
It was a circus.
Just you right now. You just lied to me.
It was a circus when Trump was in there, and I just
All
wanted
right,
to get
chat.
that.
Did this guy just lie?
I mean, do you ever get to vote differently than Trump? I mean, there's people that vote differently.
I would bet anything that you didn't vote for Biden. I would bet any amount of money that you didn't vote for Biden. Like, I would literally bet any amount of money.
Well, I voted for the circus to come to an end.
Well, let's just have a truth-telling session here. Stop. Let's have a truth-telling session here. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
What's your first name?
Marcus. What does it have to do with
Marcus.
a Christian? Okay.
Seriously, Marcus. I'm being serious now. I don't want to go forward. I want you to admit that you just lied to me. I'm being serious. Stop. No jokes. No, stop the joking. Nothing. All that aside. I want you to listen for a second. I know that you didn't vote for Biden. And let's be mature adults and admit that you didn't vote for Biden.
Okay, if that helps.
Marcus, I've been doing this a long time now. I know that you didn't vote for Biden. Please be the mature adult. I had respect for you, Marcus. Please don't make me lose that respect.
Okay, I didn't vote for Biden.
Okay, so why did you lie, dude?
You're saying?
No, it is a lie. You didn't vote for Biden, dude.
I did because it was a circus in government.
So do I need to prove that you didn't vote? Marcus, I can prove you didn't vote for Biden.
Okay.
You didn't vote for Biden, Marcus. You have posts about Trump from back during that time. You didn't vote for Biden. You lied, dude. Now, please just admit it.
How do I have posts from back?
Marcus, I'm not going to. I don't want to get into it. Marcus, I don't want to get into it. Please just admit that you lied.
I'm trying to figure out how I have posts.
Marcus, I have people around me who are very good. Please just tell me the truth. I don't want to play this game. I have respect for you. I don't want to lose respect for you. Please admit that you didn't vote. Don't make me lose my Marcus.
I just told you.
Marcus. Don't make me lose my respect for you. Just admit it.
I already did. I said I didn't.
Okay, so why did you lie to me, dude?
I didn't want you to kick me off the live.
So you decided to tell me you voted for Biden?
Yes. You've got no quarter for Trump supporters. You don't. I know a lot of.
I wouldn't have kicked you if you told me the truth. I can't believe that you.
I know they give you headaches every damn day, but.
I know, but dude, lying about voting for Biden is not the way to go.
I want to know how I have posts about Trump.
I just have people around me who are very good. I told you, I have Muppets that are just fucking talented. And you do. You were a major Trump supporter in 2020. I'm looking at it. So I'm not going to talk about it on here. Obviously, it's your private life, but you definitely were a Trump supporter in 2020. You know that, and I know that, Marcus.
Well, can we go back to what we were talking about?
Okay. I mean, look, lying happens. Are you a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. You sinned today.
I did. We all sin every day.
We do. That's true. We do. But I just got to play a quick song for you, okay? It's one of my favorite Christian classics.
Me? Looks so good. So you won't beat the week I just had. Listen, I copped the all-white Margielas. I got a foreign, and she ain't born. You feel me? It's a BMW, by the way. Listen, she got big titties. She got a big ass. You feel me? I can't wait for you to meet this girl. Oh, you got the new Margielas? That's what's up. That's what's up. I see you. That's your BMW? That's nice. That's your girl? Golly. Okay, I see you. But I just want to know one thing. You ready? Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me. Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying. Ooh, it's almost like faking. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know you're lying, but you sound, and you know that I know that you're lying. Oh girl, cue the rain. I got you. The rain, yeah.
That was a pretty funny song. I gotta give it up.
All right. Anyway, yeah. By the way, look at the other people that voted for Trump. Like this is like your fellow voters here. MAGA clause.
It's beginning to look a lot like Trump must. Everywhere you go.
Oh man.
Take a look at Trump and Barron. They're back once again for the best presidency you'll ever know. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. You better watch out if you talk about Trump bad or nice, cause mega claus is coming to town. Oh yeah, mega claus is coming to town. Mega claus is
Talk in your mouth. Tariffs are coming. Human rights violated. Doesn't respect the Constitution. Doesn't give a shit about democracy. What do you think they give Trump for Christmas? Like, what do you think? Big Macs? Like, he seems to love Big Macs.
I don't think he would be a material kind of guy. It would more be like,
he's not a material kind of guy.
he has everything now.
Did you really just say Trump's not a material?
As a president.
Did you just say Trump's not a material? Wait a second. Did you just say the guy with the golden shitter is not a material guy?
As a president, I don't think people would care.
Oh God!
It's more of what
the guy with the golden shitter is not a materialistic guy. Oh my God!
Okay, when you're giving a gift,
the guy with the golden potty is not materialistic.
I'm trying to explain it to you. When you're giving a gift to someone who has access to anything they would want, it's almost redundant. I mean, they could have got that gift themselves. So I think
that reminded me I need to take my cough medicine. The guy with the golden potty is not material.
He's got everything. I mean, he's got access to everything. So what do you give as a present to that person?
Give me a golden shitter. They call it a golden shitter.
I think acts of service would go a lot further way with him than.
Oh yes, he really he doesn't care at all about materialistic things.
Well, he's got everything he could want. He's got the money for everything he could want, right? I'm just saying.
And he got that way by being materialistic.
So do you think people change over 30, 40, 50 years?
No, I don't think Donald Trump has changed much. No, I think he's kind of morphed into an orange, swollen version of Roy Cohn.
Well, I mean, he could have any. It's just presents are not. I mean, presents out of a store is not what some people want. I mean, especially people that have everything. That's what I've seen.
Well, man, listen, I get that you have buyer's remorse, but like the truth is, like, you guys deserve it. We tried to warn you. We tried to, tell you, but you got, I hate to say it. It's true. You deserve it, man. You deserve every second of it. And you're going to get it too. And no one will be there to save you.
Yeah, I don't think what's going on down at the border is very beneficial for our country. Yeah, I know. I opened a can of worms. I know. I just wanted to get your, opinion on it.
Do you think it justifies deportation?
I know we're all sinners, but I don't feel like you should be able to choose a law and just decide, well, I don't care about that law. I'm going to do whatever I want, walk over the border. I just think the laws are there.
Stop. Did you just say that as a Trump supporter? I don't think that you should be able to just do whatever you want and break. Guy, you voted for Donald Trump, who literally does what you just said. You voted for the felon. You just said, I don't think you should be able to just break the law and then do whatever the fuck you want. You voted for someone who did that.
So let's bring up the point of him being a felon.
Marcus, you are a walking contradiction.
You
literally are a gigantic contradiction.
Can I speak to your last point? He's a felon?
Yes.
None of this was going on about him being a felon, him having court cases, him having all this legal trouble. None of this happened before he ran for president. But all of a sudden,
what?
It pops up. None of these accusations and he's a felon now. None of this was happening back then. But
wait.
All of a sudden, it's like
Marcus. First of all, that's not true. But number two, Marcus, you do realize that the case he was convicted on was falsifying business records, tied campaign finance violations, a conspiracy to catch and kill a story to minimize its impact on his campaign for presidency. Then he became president. You can't prosecute a sitting president. Yes. So yes, you would prosecute him after he left office, which is what they did. I don't know when you think the prosecution would have taken place. It's literally something he did to get elected. So
there's also multiple things in there that, each one of these cases has had issues with it, and I'm
wrong. What's the issue with the document? What specifically did he not do in the documents case?
The documents at his house, is that what you're talking about at Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, it's an incredibly strong case that now, Marcus, stop interrupting me. My head hurts. That's an incredibly strong case that now has unfortunately been dropped because of Department of Justice policy that you can't prosecute a sitting president. But that was an incredibly strong case. That case had serious substance. He would have been convicted in that case.
Well, other people have done the exact same thing, but
no, they haven't.
They didn't get brought up on charges for that. That's the problem. I mean, I know if everybody does it and it's wrong, then everybody should pay the price. But there was other people doing the same thing.
Who did the exact same thing?
Like Biden had it at his house when he wasn't the president.
Biden didn't do the same thing because Biden didn't obstruct justice. What's Trump's indictment mostly made up of?
I don't know that.
Fuck, I'm so tired of explaining this. What is in Biden's indictment? What is Trump's indictment mostly made up of? Obstruction of justice charges, right? Lying to investigators, enlisting people to destroy evidence, ordering that boxes be moved after receiving a subpoena, lying on an affidavit. Things he did to obstruct justice to maintain possession of the documents, none of which Biden did. Biden didn't obstruct justice, right? Biden cooperated fully with the investigation. There was no real intent there, or at least they couldn't prove intent. The evidence would not have met. The evidence would not have met the burden of proof, right, beyond a reasonable doubt. Biden cooperated, which is mostly the reason he was not criminally prosecuted. Trump didn't, right? There's malicious intent. He's doing things. He's destroying evidence. He's hiding.
But your intent doesn't. Okay, I understand the intent's different, but I mean, if you did something wrong.
No, intent matters in a criminal prosecution and whether you can successfully prosecute a case.
Okay, well, I just think justice has been being applied differently across government. I mean, it hasn't been.
It's not being applied differently. Donald Trump obstructed justice. That is a distinct difference. Hold on. That is a distinct difference between these two cases, right? There was lack of evidence proving his intent to illegally retain the documents. So if you don't have evidence that proves that he was attempting to deliberately, illegally retain these documents, then you will not be able to successfully prosecute the case. In Trump's case, you had evidence that he was attempting to illegally retain the documents because you have obstruction of justice, which shows intent.
What did he do to obstruct justice in that?
I already explained this to you. He lied to investigators. He enlisted people to destroy evidence and then lied about it. He ordered that boxes be moved after receiving
the evidence
subpoena.
is so overwhelming.
He lied. Why do you ask questions and then start talking?
I was just
Why do you ask questions and then start talking? You know, this is the second time I've answered this question now. Had you listened the first time, I wouldn't have to repeat myself. It's bad. Do you know how many times I have to teach Republicans about this distinction on a daily basis? Several. You guys all don't understand. And so now I'm trying to explain to you, right, that there was no evidence proving his intent to illegally retain the documents, right? But in Trump's case, you had evidence that would have met the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt because of the obstruction of justice portion of the indictment, in which Donald Trump lied to investigators regularly, lied on an affidavit, ordered that boxes be moved after receiving a government subpoena, enlisted people to destroy evidence. These are things he did to illegally retain those documents when requested by the archives in the Department of Justice. That's the difference, right?
Okay. So if they've got evidence, like you're saying, that's concrete, why did none of it ever go through? Because
that case specifically had a judge, Eileen Cannon, who was promised a job in the administration. And the case was in the middle of being appealed in the 11th Circuit Court because it was dismissed because of having to do with the Jack Smith appointment being unconstitutional, not related to the evidence. He has good attorneys. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you're rich and powerful, right? But ultimately, these cases get dismissed because Donald Trump was elected, right? And when he's elected, Department of Justice policy is that you don't prosecute a sitting president. So that's ultimately why those cases go up.
Ran out of time.
Those cases go away. You can't. The Department of Justice won't prosecute a sitting president. So he's about to be a sitting president, so those cases go away. We knew as soon as he got elected, those cases would go away. Had he not gotten elected, the case would have came back.
Okay.
But Donald Trump broke the law. Understand that. He broke the law in both those cases.
He was also, I'm sorry.
The evidence is overwhelming. I could literally make a case on this live right now that Donald Trump is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of at least willful retention. So there's tons of evidence. Did you read the indictment?
No, I have not read actual formal documents.
Well, that's why you don't understand the difference. So although you could potentially show that Biden had classified information, right, it comes down to proving his intent to illegally retain them.
Okay, so intent matters. So, okay, I got a question. I know we're going all over the place. I'm wanting to, it's more of like justice across the whole system. I just want
that case also was not prosecutable.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what I'm trying to say to you is that just because you may think that someone did something wrong, it's different. There's a different determination when deciding whether or not a case can be successfully prosecuted, right? You have to have enough evidence to meet the burden of proof. You can't just say, well, I think they did this. I know they did this. Well, you're going to have to provide evidence to a jury, right? That jury is going to have to convict that person beyond a reasonable doubt. And so you need to have enough evidence that shows criminal intent in order to successfully prosecute the case. In Trump's case, you can prove criminal intent because of the obstruction of justice, right?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
So that's the difference between those cases. Another guest came in here earlier and tried to debate the same thing in regards to this case, saying that Biden should have been prosecuted, and that's the reason the case was dropped. And I read from him directly from Robert Hur's report, which I typically do with Republicans, that lays out the fact that the difference between these cases are mostly about Biden's willingness to cooperate with the investigation. I'm going to move on to another guest now, man. Thanks.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, take care.
Thanks for being easy with me.
Woo. Yeah, Pence too, but obviously the Biden case is going to be more relevant in the argument because he's the sitting president, right? So they want to see that happen there. 1 second, everybody.
It wasn't easy, but not when it ends.
Guys, I would appreciate tapping the screen, sharing the live. If you're enjoying the live this morning, I'd appreciate tapping the screen and sharing the live. I already said that. My brain is so burnt. I already said that. I'd appreciate supporting the live on Venmo. I'm only using Venmo today. My Venmo is Adam Crave Politics. Contributing to the gifting goals, subscribing. Those are all things.
What's going on?
What, dude?
Hey, Adam. So, how do you feel about the whole January 6th thing being thrown out? I love it. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was expected, as I stated with the previous guest, because the Department of Justice does not prosecute sitting presidents. So, if Trump got elected, of course, those cases were going to go away.
Well, you know what I'm happy for? I'm happy that they're going to go after Nancy Pelosi's now, the one that set up the whole damn thing. That's the most great thing about it.
What?
Yep.
Nancy Pelosi had nothing to do with that case. What are you talking about?
She did. You want to know why she did? Because didn't Trump requested military from Nancy Pelosi? He requested it. Did he not?
How old are you, by the way?
And got denied.
How old are you again?
25 years old. We've already been down this road. I've been in your box.
Just double checking. I wanted to make sure you told me the same age. No, shut up. Go ahead,
bro. What the hell? Well, yeah. So, how do you feel about that, Adam?
Where are you that I hear an ambulance behind you?
I'm sitting outside. My
guy literally is at the hospital. He was born 12 minutes ago.
No, I'm sitting outside my job.
He was born 12 minutes ago. He's still at the hospital.
Why are you trying to switch the subject around?
He was born 12 minutes ago. He's still at the hospital.
Why are you trying to switch subject around, huh?
Fetus in the chat.
Why is that, Adam?
I'm not trying. I already answered your question. It's Department of Justice policy to not prosecute a sitting president. You can't impede on his ability to govern. It could be considered unconstitutional. There's a number of different reasons the case cannot be prosecuted. So the case will not be prosecuted while he's a sitting president. So he had to drop the cases.
But you want to know who they are gonna go after? The Trump administration?
It's funny that you guys come in saying, acting like I wasn't saying right after he got elected. One of the first things I said, people were asking me what happens to the cases, and I said, Jack Smith will be filing a motion for dismissal on the federal cases. It's literally one of the first things I said, but you guys don't listen.
No, I hear you.
This is no shock.
Of course he will. That's his only option. He don't have another option. The whole washing machine is just gonna get. It's gonna happen. They're going down, bro. The whole Democratic Party, the corrupt Democrats, they're all going down, bro. It is what it is. You gotta accept it, Adam. Accept it, bro. That's it, Adam. Just accept it. That's all it is, man. You gotta accept that MAGA won, and MAGA's gonna make America great again.
Wow, that's profound. Listen, how long did it take you to come up with this argument?
Oh, it's not even an argument. It's just facts.
Guys, do you realize how sad this is? That there are literal people out there look at this guy. His entire personality is MAGA. Like there is
It
nothing
is.
more. It's
That
just
is.
MAGA.
I'm glad you're able to analyze that. I'm glad you're able to do that.
Hey, do you
So how was
guys
Kamala
know?
Harris? How was Kamala Harris's vacation in Hawaii? Was it pretty fun? Was she pretty sad with her husband? Spending $1,300 a night on a hotel room, on a resort. Was she sad? Was she crying because she lost the presidency? She's probably in the bedroom crying with her husband, huh? Hey, it's all good. They're all going down, Adam. Accept it, dog. That's it, man. You can't do nothing about it either.
Wow, that was an incredibly profound argument. Anything else?
Yeah, I want to know why you keep like supporting these radical liberals. Like, I don't get it, because your family's a liberal?
Wait. Give me an example. What is a radical liberal? Guys, if you're not a Trump supporter, hop out of the guest box, please. What is a radical liberal? Guys, please tap the screen. Guys, a couple things. Tap the screen, share the live. If you're not a Trump supporter, hop out of the guest box, hit the share button, subscribe, contribute to the gifting goal. These are the things that help push us onto the FYP. Do you have anything to say like that's relevant? What's a radical liberal?
A radical liberal is what was in office. That's what a radical liberal is. That's exactly what it is. That's a perfect definition. Literally a perfect definition.
What's a radical liberal?
The people that were just in office, that are people that are in office right now, actually. Trump hasn't even taken office until January 20th.
Do you understand you can't be a radical liberal?
Yes, you can. Are you crazy? Yes,
So
you can.
give me an example of someone who is a radical liberal.
You're not accepting it. I just told you. You're not accepting. I told you twice. You did not listen?
What person?
I just told you. You're not listening. I just told you twice, Adam. The people, the administration that is in office currently is a radical left liberal. All of them. Because I promise you, if Trump never ran again, and Trump never even ran in the first place, they never even brought up any of those felonies, any of that stuff.
Did he name a person yet?
Yes, I did. The Biden administration. There you go. Is that better for you? Is that better for you, Mr. Adam? The Biden administration. Radical left liberals.
Wait. You think Biden is a radical?
Yes, all of them. All of them. No, Biden's a puppet.
You're making look, he's minimizing to go look up names. He doesn't even know names. Give me a radical liberal. Give me a radical liberal in that administration. Go.
All of them. Period.
He can't. Give me a radical.
I just gave it to you. All of them. There's not one. There's multiple.
No.
Yes. Accept it, Adam.
Nope. Give me a radical liberal.
God,
Give me
I want a name. Gone, Adam.
No,
I think you're so far gone to the left. It's like
I want a name. Give me a name of a radical liberal.
Nancy Pelosi. There you go.
Nancy Pelosi? And what is Nancy
Pelosi? There you go.
And what is Nancy Pelosi's job right now?
It was a House spokesperson. That's what she was.
Nancy Pelosi was a House spokesperson.
Was a spokesman for the House of Representatives.
So what is So what is Nancy Pelosi radical about? Give me one, like.
Because the whole January 6th thing, she's a radical left liberal. She set that up.
Spokesman.
Yeah, spokesman. Yeah, exactly. You know exactly what she is.
Dude, the fact that he thinks we're laughing with him is the funniest part of this conversation.
I'm laughing at you because how dumb you are. That's what I'm laughing about.
Yes, it's me who's dumb. You're right.
No, but to be all honesty, Adam, to be all
honesty, I just really
I'm just glad.
Stop it, guys. To be all honesty, I just really got to tell you, to be all honesty, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Hey, so I'm he's gonna expose the washing machine. That's the whole thing he's doing. I'm glad
he's gonna expose the washing machine.
Washington machine. Washington.
You said washing machine.
Washington machine.
He's gonna expose the washing machine.
All the corrupt politicians.
Quarters. The damn thing ain't my quarters.
All the corrupt politicians. I can't wait till he does. I just can't wait.
All right, give me one corrupt politician.
I already did.
Nancy Pelosi, or what has she done that's corrupt?
Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they're all corrupt politicians.
Tell me one thing they did that was corrupt.
Okay, what about, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Those emails from Benghazi, what happened to those emails?
I don't know. You should ask her.
What happened? Were they erased? What happened? They just disappeared, didn't they? The email from Benghazi when she unalived all them soldiers in Benghazi, all them emails were just disappeared overnight. You're laughing about it, but it's the truth. You're laughing, but it's the truth, Adam.
I'm not laughing. I'm coughing.
Well, it's the truth. Just admit it. It's the truth.
It's honestly really sad. This is the state of our country. Like, isn't it? Like, when you really think about it, did he say Benghazi? Yes, he did.
Yes, I did say Benghazi, where she unalived all the soldiers.
What the hell is Benghazi?
Benghazi.
Bidghazi. Okay. Bidghazi. Now it's Bidghazi. At first it was Benghazi.
Oh
now
God,
it's Bidghazi.
Anyways, bruh, so what happened to all those emails? Let's talk about that topic. Come on, let's talk about it.
What is Trump going to do? He's going to find emails?
I hope he locks her up. That's what I hope.
So they didn't have enough evidence to criminally prosecute the case.
Oh, they have a lot of evidence. Oh, believe it or not, they do.
So what is Trump going to do to Hillary Clinton?
You'll see when he's in office.
So now my question is going to be, why didn't he do it his last term?
You want to know why? Because Trump didn't even know what the heck he was doing in office that first time. Now that he's been doing this, now that he's been doing this for over 8 years.
Stop. Why did Trump said he was going to do this last time? Why didn't he do it?
I just told you.
No, he said she'd be in jail. Why didn't he do it?
I just told you.
So you're admitting Trump doesn't know what he's doing?
Trump did not know what he was doing the first 4 years. No, he did not.
What makes you think he knows what he's doing now?
He was never a politician. He didn't know.
Are you greenlighting me? Are you greenlighting me right now?
He didn't know anything. He's not a politician.
Are you greenlighting me?
What is it a green light about?
Are you greenlighting me?
About what?
Dude, you swear to God you're not greenlighting me right now.
No, Mr. Adam, I'm not greenlighting you.
We got one. We got one. Look, he's looking up greenlighting.
Anyways, yeah, so that's what's gonna happen. He didn't know what he was doing the first 4 years. Now that he's been doing this for over 8 years, he knows. Oh, he knows, dude. He knows. And I'm just so glad the people he's pointing right now is his cabinet is amazing. That what's her name?
This is what we should do with these. This is what we should do with these Muppets like this for now on. I know, Mr. Adam. Why are you calling me Mr. Adam?
Are you a man or are you a woman?
I know, but why are you calling me Mr. Adam? I'm not your fucking kindergarten teacher.
I just said, are you a man or a woman?
Kindergarten teacher, Muppet.
Are you a man or a woman? Okay, Ma'am Adam. That better for you, Ma'am Adam. Ma'am Adam.
Guy thinks I'm his freaking kindergarten teacher.
Ma'am Adam. That's your new name now, Ma'am Adam.
Come on, Mr. Adam. Don't you like Trump, Mr. Adam?
Ma'am Adam. How about that? Is that better for you?
He's just not getting the joke. Listen, man, it was great. Appreciate you coming up. You did a wonderful job.
I'm coming here every day to
you should listen. You come around a lot. You really should come up with legitimate arguments so we can.
I will. Hey, to be honest, I just like to. Guys,
if you think this is a kid, it's not. This is an adult.
I am an adult. I'm a grown ass adult. I got a kid.
Literal mid-20s guy.
Yep.
I'm not kidding.
With the whole family, correct.
Don't you think I would know? I know. Mid-20s.
Oh yeah, with the whole family, with everything.
He's in his 20s. Yep. I don't know how exactly.
Own my own business, everything. Yep, everything, Adam, everything. I don't sit on TikTok like you. I own a business.
What business do you own?
A construction business.
No, you don't.
Okay, I don't, Adam. Mr. Adams. The same way you knew that a guy voted for Joe Biden. You think you know everything.
Here they are again. All you do is sit on TikTok all day. All you do is sit on TikTok all day.
You think you know everything,
guys?
Mr.
If you'd like to support me sitting on TikTok all day, I'd appreciate it on Venmo. My Venmo.
Yeah. Hey, just call yourself a panhandle at this point.
There it is. Thank
Call
you.
yourself
Hey,
a
listen,
panhandler.
if you'd like to support me, you can on Venmo. My Venmo's
There you
Adam
go.
Gray Politics. We
There
got
you go.
another jealous Muppet here. We got
Hey,
another
you know what
jealous
I'll be
Muppet
glad
here.
for? I'll be glad whenever. I hope Trump keeps TikTok. To be honest, I hope
Hey
he
man,
does.
it is what it is. You're just a jealous little Muppet. Listen, if you weren't jealous, you wouldn't bring up the fact that I make money on TikTok. You wouldn't.
No,
you,
I just think
Listen,
that you should probably
if
do
you
something
could
better
be,
with your
if you
life.
could be Rory, thank you so much, Rory. If you could be a political creator, you would do it in a fucking heartbeat. Spencer, thank you so much, Spencer.
I
If he
actually
was able to
stream,
get
I actually
prosecuted,
stream on other platforms.
he'd
not
be getting a
TikTok.
foot long. Thank you, Spencer. Rory, thank you so much. Maureen, Panhandler Fun. Thank you, Maureen. Crystal, Muppet. Elizabeth, for your real job. Thank you, Elizabeth. Connor. And here's another 10 for the Panhandler. The best Panhandler. Thank you, Connor. Morgan, tell this one. Say, Morgan told you to shut up.
Hey, is this how you pay your bills?
Yes. Yes. Social media is definitely how I pay my bills. Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, bro! I feel bad for people these days, dude. I really do, bro. I really.
This guy feels bad for me. Carly, thank you so much, Carly. Thank you, Carly. Appreciate it.
Hey, you know what you're gonna do when TikTok goes away? If it ever does, you're gonna be working at McDonald's where Trump was.
Yep, I'm not going to be going. I wouldn't just go to another platform.
Of course you would. You'd be at McDonald's.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that.
Hey,
We'll see about that.
We'll see January 19th. That's when we'll see.
Hey, listen. You'll be watching me regardless of where I am.
That's a negative. I only know you on TikTok. I only know about you on TikTok.
You'll be watching me regardless of where I am.
That's a negative. You're not popular in the real world.
You're gonna tell me you won't be watching me regardless of where I am. You watch me every fucking day. You watch me every day. What do you mean you wouldn't watch me on another platform?
You know why I like watching? Because you get mad at the MAGA supporters. Like you get really upset.
Now he's admitting he likes watching. See, he likes watching. Thank you for the support. Let me see here. Laura, thank you so much. Laura says grateful. Appreciate you, Laura. Appreciate you, Laura. Claudia, thank you so much. Sit on TikTok cooking Muppets. Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate you. Sherry, thank you so much. So the fetus will shut up. Casey, thank you so much. I'm going to, Casey. Brandy, thank you so much. And all the pans. Jessica, no, Jessica, they definitely haven't.
Hey, well, I'll come back
thank
with
you so much, Sarah.
arguments.
Hey, Trump, seriously, tell me really quick. Since you own a construction company, yet you're in my live stream every day. You own a construction company. You can't pronounce basic fifth grade. Tell me what's your favorite thing to do? He ran. He ran. Dude, they are so jealous of like live stream. It reminds me of that Liam guy. They're so consumed by jealousy. Their entire life revolves around creators that they don't like. Right? Miranda, thank you so much, Miranda. Appreciate you, Miranda. Like they literally become obsessed. Will, $17.76. Honest washing machine. It's coming after the washing machine. Liam was talking about you last night. Yeah, because I embarrassed him on live. Yo, you want to see the funniest picture someone's ever sent me, bro? The funniest picture someone ever sent me, because Liam's one of the most laughable on this app. Here is a picture of Liam streaming to 48 people with Parker and Dean as his background. He's like 60.
Come on.
Bro, it does not get any funnier than that, bro.
Okay. Do not let it.
He's trying to be a creator so bad. He had to put up Dean and Parker so he could get 48 people in his live. He's not only old enough to be, he's old enough to be Not only their father, my father. Like, the dude is way too grown to be on TikTok streaming for 45 people with streamers as his background. So of course he was talking about me on live because that's what gets him views. Liam can't talk about himself because nobody knows who he is. So he has to talk about creators and get himself engagement. But bro, that's the funniest picture of all time. Streaming to 45 people.
Come on.
With Dean and Parker in the background. Oh my God. Stop. That's just too funny, bro. Like, that's literally one of the funniest things. Like, that would be when I just, like, seriously, Liam should just delete TikTok and just stop doing it. Right? He should just, it's so embarrassing. He wants attention so bad. Like, he wants to be a streamer. Like, he's sitting there talking, and know what he was doing? Calling people Muppets, and then like telling people nobody cares and kicking them, doing all the bits that I do, and then like shit talking me, but using all of my bits, calling people Muppets, doing all the things I do for 45 people with Dean and Parker as his background. That's fucking next level sad, bro. Like, that is next level. So many people have told me that this guy literally uses, so somebody sent me a video, and here's Liam. Just tell me what it is, you Muppet. Just tell me what it is, you Muppet. Fine. Yeah. Wait, what's your name again? Nobody cared. Literally doing the exact, literally you would think he's impersonating me, but he's not impersonating me. He just wants to be me. Right? It's literally sad. Love, what's going on? And bro is not a kid either. Like, he's grown. Love, go ahead. Love, go ahead.
Yeah, let's have a conversation about politics. Let's have a conversation about politics, guys. Look at Dean and Parker in the background.
Come on.
Let's have a conversation about politics.
Come on.
Holy shit, man. All right, go ahead. Are you there, guest?
Go on. Go inside.
I can't hear you, man. You'll see him. He comes in here all the time, and he comes up and he's super jealous. It's hilarious. He has like, I think he has like 1,000 followers or something. Probably bought most of them. Tara, go ahead. Tara? Guys, by the way, I forgot to tell you, if you guys have not seen my new series I'm starting on Instagram, by the way, we're just about at 5,000 followers on Instagram yet. Make sure you go follow me on Instagram, especially for this new series. So I've decided I'm starting a series where I'm just going to annoy Republicans that are selling Trump merch. And I'm going to call them, and I'm going to tangle up, get in conversations with them. And when they're good, I'm going to upload them. So go follow me on Instagram. I'm basically just calling, the guys that sell those big ass bumper stickers, the guys that sell, I'm basically doing all that. So go follow me on Instagram. That's where it's exclusively going to be. That and I'm probably going to just start doing it on YouTube too. But it's going to be funny as shit. It's going to be funny as shit. The first one is up there, where I had the guy swear to God that he's not a Biden supporter. That one's up there. So check it out. I got big ideas for it. I have YouTube. Go to my YouTube. It's in the link tree in my bio. Go to my YouTube. We haven't even gone live over there yet, and I think we're at like 4,000 followers or something. But once we go live over there, it will jump up significantly. We just haven't done it yet. But make sure you go over there. I do upload a bunch of content over there, so check it out. Yeah, I'm going to do UMAT again, Ultra MAGA against Trump at some point. It's just not the right time right now. It's just not the right time. Guys, can you imagine using a picture of me from fucking a year ago? Can you guys imagine using a picture of me from a year ago? Like literally, this guy went a year back on my videos to go find a picture of me with an emo haircut, because I used to do the emo. I had like an emo haircut like a year ago or a little over a year ago. And this guy literally went back, found it, and fucking made it his profile picture because he's such an obsessed fan.
Adam, buddy, can you not understand the fact that you just snitched on yourself and you're an obsessed fan? That you just say right here, Jack Smith dropped all federal cases against Donald Trump. Yeah,
you guys want to see the video?
Why are you so obsessed with this, Adam? Why do you keep showing this to everyone? Why are you so obsessed, Adam? Why are you so obsessed? Who cares?
When this guy went back and took a picture of it and made it his profile picture. I just want to let you know, like, the level of obsession, right, with some of these people.
Listen,
like,
buddy, you even said Jack Smith drops all federal cases against Trump. You just proved yourself wrong.
No, it didn't prove me wrong. I said this was going to happen if he got elected.
Yeah, so what? They're running because they have no proof of it actually happening. So he's running because he's scared.
No, it's a policy that's been around for a long time.
Why is he dropping it now then? Because he has nothing.
Shut up. It's a Department of Justice policy that you don't prosecute a sitting president. So you have to drop the cases.
Okay. See, you're talking in circles, Adam.
What? How am I talking in circles?
You just don't ever seem to know what you're talking about.
Really? So why were the cases dropped if not for a long-standing Department of Justice
policy? They were dropped because Jack Smith has nothing on Trump, and
that's not why. That's not why they were dropped. That's not why they were dropped, fam. That's not why they were dropped. They were dropped because of its Department of Justice policy to not prosecute a sitting president.
Adam, what's the 14th Amendment?
You're a simpleton. What an absolute simpleton. Go ahead, Smiley.
Hey, Adam, it's time for you to get a job, and it's time for you to just keep Trump named.
Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. I got MAGA so much in their feels.
You need to get a job, Adam. You need to get a job, Adam.
Guys,
get a job.
Make sure I don't have to. Guys, make sure I can continue to be a streamer by supporting my content.
The only way you can be a streamer is because of Trump. You keep Trump in your background.
Thank you, everybody. Keep supporting me, baby. Keep supporting me, baby. Keep supporting me, baby. Listen, I have MAGA so fucking twisted up, man. I give them hell, right? So they get super jealous of me. You guys make sure that I can continue to be a political streamer. I appreciate you. I love you for it. If you guys would like to do that, you can on Venmo. These guys hate it, and it's fucking glorious. It's literally glorious. They want me to go away. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Love your chaotic intelligence. Appreciate you, Elizabeth. Angelina, just because. Appreciate you, Angelina. SB, thank you so much. I appreciate you, SB. I appreciate you, SB. Thank you so much. These guys are just nothing but full of jealousy, dude. That's just who they are. Crystal, thank you. Appreciate you. These guys literally. But listen, here's the thing. They won the election, and what they expected were people like me were going to be laying in the corner like, oh my God. Oh my God, we're so screwed. What are we going to do? We're in trouble, right? But we didn't, did we? This is the importance of getting back up and throwing both middle fingers in the air and being like, no, let's go forward, baby. Let's go forward, baby. And we're not laying down for MAGA, okay? We're not fucking laying down for MAGA, ever. Jackson, what's going on?
Hey, dude, I just had a quick question. Are you ever gonna get a job though? Honestly,
there it is again, baby. Yeah. They are so fucking jealous.
Yeah, bro. no.
Guys, here we go again. Guys, please speed tap the screen. Contribute to the gifting goal. They are so fucking jealous, dude. They are obsessed with me. They are obsessed.
Serious question. Do you know how to make a girl finish? Like,
guys, keep going, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Did you say, have I ever what? Have I ever made a girl what? Your mom?
Dude.
Yeah, your mom.
Hey, meet me on the slopes in Colorado.
Your
bro.
mom.
I go out there snowboarding.
Your mom.
You snowboard?
Your mom. Your mom.
You want
your
snowboard?
mom.
Let's go
Your
snowboard.
mom. Your mom and your dad, by the way.
Bro, you don't know how to get
Your
a
mom
girl to
and your
finish, dude.
dad.
Look at you, bro.
I'm dating both your parents.
Dude,
I'm
you
dating
really
both
sit on
your
this fucking
parents.
shit
I
every day.
please
You
your
sit on
mom
this
and your
shit every
dad.
day. Look at you,
I
dude.
please your mom and your dad.
Look at you, typical.
I got them both.
Living out the government.
I got them both.
I gotta get Venmo.
Your mic sucks, by the way. He didn't like that answer.
I actually have more money than you can shake a stick.
Your
at,
mic is
Okay.
terrible. We can't hear what you're saying. You know that, right? We can't
because
hear
I run
you.
an excavating
We
business.
can't hear you. We're laughing at you. We can't hear you.
Because I
We
run
can't hear you. We can't hear you, Jackson. All right? We just can't. Tori, thank you so much, Tori.
You just keep muting
Jeff
me.
says,
Like, that's funny as fuck.
Jeff says, I love how jealous they are. So do I. Jillian, thank you so much. F MAGA.
Hey, I run an excavating business. So I'm out here
Amelia,
doing-
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate
I do
Appreciate
man
the
work.
support. Thank you. Should we kick
I
this
do
guy?
man
Should we go to the
work.
next one?
I do man work, man. Not
I
you.
always hear you do man work. What's man work? What's man work?
I actually own 2 businesses. Keep muting me, you fucking pussy.
You have 2 businesses.
Yeah.
Dak, thank you so much, Dak. Thank you so much, Dak.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
dude. Yeah. Man,
You have 2 businesses.
Yeah,
Your mic is guys. He has 2 businesses, but he's still using a 1997 microphone from his mom's karaoke machine. Say a fucking word, right? They are faux tough guys, right? They are in real life little guys that don't say shit to people. Like they don't say anything, right? That's a fact. Those guys would not say a word in person, right? They wouldn't say a fucking word. And I've had some people come up to me in real life, in person, right? And say, hey, Bubba, I recognize you, blah, 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 right? And it's all been extremely positive. Coincidentally, it's never been MAGA. Denise, thank you so much. I appreciate it. W. Adam, when will these idiots learn that the more hate they send you, the more we pay you? Denise, they will probably never learn it. What they think, though, is what they want me to do is stop being. When you do politics, right? You have like triple, quadruple the haters you will have just being a regular creator. Politics just attracts haters because you have half the people who watch you are going to disagree with you politically, right? You have to just basically ignore it. I always encourage people to understand. Consider the source. The people that are saying this are very clearly jealous. Like it's very obvious. Like when you're willing to come up in my live and tell me about your business, right? Because you're mad that I'm a live streamer, it means that you're jealous. That's all it does, right? It's literally just jealousy. Everyone can see it. The only people that can't see it are them. DA, what's going on? I don't know if it's Da or DA. What's up?
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a friendly. I didn't mean to. I must have hit the button to come up, but
that's okay.
But you are such a great guy. I love listening to you. So
appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I'll drop down where you can get somebody else to chew their ass. You know.
I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Somebody in chat asked me, Adam, can these cases come back? Yes, some of these cases absolutely can. potentially resurface. Like I said, these cases were not dismissed because of evidence. These cases were dismissed because of a long-standing Department of Justice policy that you do not prosecute a sitting president, right? So I think it's totally possible. Refiled, right? Dismissed without prejudice, meaning they can be refiled. So I think when Trump is no longer president, it's totally possible that these cases come back. We have to see how things go over the next 4 years before we say anything like that. Yes, they were dismissed without prejudice. Yes. Man, this ending to the live today has been nothing but obsessed fans. Isn't this wild?
Hello.
You have to understand too, everybody. I want you to understand something. New evidence could emerge in these cases.
There's new evidence going to occur when he already dropped it.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that new evidence emerges in these cases. So if that happens, let's say something else ends up coming out, it's totally possible. Totally possible. It wouldn't be anywhere near statute of limitations there. Jack could still drop indictments. Not during the 4 years, he won't. Jack Smith's not going to be there anyway. So they could reopen it, refile them, yes. Yeah, I don't know that I don't blame Jack Smith, right? People blaming Jack Smith for this, I think their anger is misplaced. I more blame Garland than I do Jack Smith. I don't have any respect for Merrick Garland at all. I think Jack Smith actually did a pretty good job. I think he was dealt some really complicated cases. There were some really tough circumstances he was dealing with, such as Eileen Cannon, the Supreme Court ruling for immunity. I think he had some really tough things to deal with as a prosecutor. I think he actually did a pretty good job. I just think Garland is, the person who dragged his feet here. Yeah, Garland is. Did you see him practically crying? He was literally crying. Yeah, I want to also say, guys, I don't also put this like hero worship into prosecutors or something just because they're prosecuting someone. Like this idea that like we should worship Jack Smith. Like I feel like sometimes people on the left that like fall victim to like this like standard that's been created by Republicans where like we like hero worship people in the political arena, whether it's people prosecuting Trump or it's politicians, like in response to their worship of Donald Trump. We need to just continue to be normal so we can set an example for our children that they're not normal. You know what I mean? And I don't like that's the path I would like to go. I think our children, more than the thing that deeply concerns me about everything that's happening right now is that our children are watching all of this. Our children are watching all of this happen. All of this unfolding. Our children are looking at us and we're setting an example for them. And it's quite disturbing when you think about it.
Hey,
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question. Don't speak.
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question.
No, I'm gonna ask you a question first. Real quick. Can you tell me how to grow a chin strap mustache?
Hey, did you want
Nobody gives a shit. So anyway, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Who's got their Christmas tree up ready for the holidays. You got your Christmas tree up, ready for the holidays, people? People who celebrate. People who celebrate. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows the turkey and the mistletoe. Dude's literally just, no, it's the same guy on a different name, just fucking putting my picture as his thing, and he looks like a complete and total clown. And he thinks he's hurting me by taking screenshots of pictures of me and making them his photo. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Oh my God, don't use my picture. As if I'm not putting my picture in my face in front of thousands and thousands of people every single fucking day, you absolute shoe. Like every single day I'm putting my fucking face in front of thousands of people. Okay? Goof. Why is MAGA so weird? Psh. I don't even want to know. It's not my responsibility to dissect that one. Go check out the new series on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. Make sure you're on those platforms. Love you guys. I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Take care.